Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes.
Fuck yeah.
So the people in the Shills after party have found a way to get around my rule about not drinking when I'm running the stream. Because I already had about 4 shots of whiskey before it was thrown on me that I should do this tonight. So we do have a problem here that if I get wasted, there isn't anyone to mute me.
So what Purple is saying is y'all are fucked.
Well, if I drink enough to pass out in my chair, this thing's just going to keep running.
Hey, people have done it before and had like 16-hour streams because they fell asleep.
Yep. Okay, so in the side chat, I see Liam Wakefield and Jinzu. And I know Ox was there. That's all I'm seeing for right now, although YouTube is indicating we got a couple others. And I know Dick said he was in here, but I think he's got to get his kid to bed first.
Yeah, he said he'll be here in probably another 15 minutes or so.
Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, no subject here. This is just for people to hang. Oh, there's Dick right now. Hey, Dick.
Hey, how's it going?
Just in time. Yeah, we actually had just started, and I was just acknowledging the audience here. So
the only Dick I love to see.
I love that comment, B. I love it.
I really get to talk to you. How you doing? How's everything?
Good. I was actually just having a chat with Jin, Jin Zhu on and on the Shills. And Jin is now got even more power over on the channel. And Jin is gonna be really, having some fun. So we've got a lot of, I mean, let's face it, it's all about the comedy, the humor, having fun, right? And
debunking
anytime
and having fun with it. Hell yeah.
Yeah, right. So anytime you got somebody who's gonna really jump in and be a part of things, but maybe they're not a microphone person, they're more of helping out, or whatever. It's Jen's full team member now and really, really, really kicking butt. I love it.
Nice. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jen's cool. Totally.
Very, very.
Totally.
Oh, Purple. Jin's gonna be getting in touch because got a few bot ideas for the chat, and you might as well just give Jin the permissions, I mean, you might as well.
Well, yeah, Jin's been doing a bang-up job with taking care of the voting and such, so.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, like 100% trust, 100% trust.
Oh, yeah. Just shilling out everybody's links while the stream was going. Yeah. Been an incredible help there.
And humble, too.
The best person,
Ox. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Oh, I love Ox. Yes, I love Ox.
Southern Hemisphere's here, and
Sal. Oh, we got to give Sal a link. But you can't take over the chat, Sal. You got to join it. No, I'm just kidding.
No, he's not.
That's what. No, but that's me that does that, right? I'm just being a jerk.
No, it's your
facetiously.
You're spot on with that. Yeah.
Let me get a drink here.
That I had only put the YouTube link out on Twitter. I hadn't put the StreamYard link. So for anyone who's in my Mid-America group, then the StreamYard link is in there. So I added Sal to that group. So anyone who wants to jump in.
All right.
And if there's anyone in the side chat who isn't seeing the link, let me know and I could send you a link.
You guys about the bot. Bots are evil. Depends on who's controlling the bot. Just saying.
Well, if I'm in control, then it's evil.
It's the cons that were evil. The Autobots were the good guys.
Yes, Purple. You're right.
I was like in in my 20s when that show premiered, and I still
Right.
taped it every day so I could watch it when I got home from work.
Nice. Nice.
Unfortunately, a friend of mine got the DVD set, and I went back and tried to watch it and realized that the G1 cartoons were a far better memory than it was a TV show. There was some really sloppy hack writing in there, and the animation errors all over the place.
You know,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
funny, Purple. You're so right, because I go back, like, I went back and watched some old shows that we watched when we were kids or whatever. You see, like, Wizard of Oz, and you watched it with the original, and you watched it when you were a kid. You haven't seen it in 15 years. And
Yeah.
you go, wow, man. We thought this was the best shit. And
Well,
for the time it was the best shit at
Yeah.
the time. But
It's like I
so
kind of
funny.
realized out of like 65 episodes, there were actually only 12 of them I remembered. The rest of them I was repressing.
It's pretty bad when you're repressing a freaking TV show, Perps. Just saying.
Oh,
Well, here,
I'm really good at that. I remember virtually nothing between ages 5 and 14. At age 14, I started writing things down.
Huh.
that
I
makes
remember
sense.
So much shit. I remember so much shit.
And
I
considering
got
what
one for you.
I've had therapists offer to help me retrieve the memories, but considering what I do remember, I don't really think I want to bring back the rest of it.
You know, I've thought about doing that before, Perps, going back to like a bad situation, get somebody hypnotize you to see if you can remember the rest of it. And I've thought about it, and I was like, do I want to know?
Well, honestly,
Do I want to know?
I'm a bit suspicious of the techniques.
Yeah,
Because
I know, me too.
Unless you have a truly exceptional therapist, it is very easy for them to plant false memories without even intending to.
Right.
And I have found examples already that I have false memories that included people who I didn't know at the time that they would have been occurring.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
human
see, I
memory
always-
is a really weird thing.
I always felt weird about that with like hypnosis and stuff, and like what can they? And I always told everybody, like anytime I had a conversation, like I'm bringing someone with me to watch and monitor, and make sure they don't like make me like cluck like a chicken when I come or something. Like they can do that shit to you, and I really don't want to be like. So I think anybody that goes to get hypnotized should have somebody go with them and like monitor what's going on. Sit over in the corner quietly, don't say a word.
Yeah,
and just
I would think that would be a wise precaution to kind of have a chaperone there.
Yeah, I agree. Could you imagine, Dick, like if somebody did something like that to you, like every time you fart, you moo, you know, like they could just little things. You can't. What are you gonna do? You can't really sue them for it. Yeah, I guess you could. But what are you gonna do? They'd be like, "No, I didn't do that." What proof would you have? You know, I was hypnotized, and they said whatever they wanted. You know, like, no, I'm gonna take. If I'm going, somebody's going with me. Somebody that knows me and I trust. Yeah, you do. You ain't fucking going off like a chicken or some shit. Just sounds so fucked up to me, man.
I'd be more concerned about them, you know, like inserting weird triggers that they could make you sexually aroused whenever they wanted to, type thing.
Right? Like, you know, somebody just says supercalifragilistic, and you're like, dung, you know, what the fuck? What the hell happened?
Hey, what the fuck's going on in here?
What the fuck's going on over here, man? How the fuck did I mean? I'm not really bitching, but damn. But if you can figure out the word, then you're good.
Yeah. Did somebody call my name?
Hey man, say this to me real quick. I get this hot chick over here. I'm trying to get. Say it. No, really say it. I need you to say it for me.
Hey,
be a bro.
Okay. Yeah. Hey man, just give me a minute. There's a really hot chick over here I'm trying to get.
Well, you know, and part of that gets into the whole damn it, I've been drinking too much. I'm having trouble with words. You know, the whole confirmation bias thing. You know, that hypnosis probably can't make you do anything you wouldn't want to do. But if they give you a suggestion for something that you think would be okay to go along with, that's dangerous.
Yeah. I like that. I know I've been in a couple of situations where you could be tempted to do you know, something that you definitely know you shouldn't. And, as a parent and so on and so forth, you don't do those kind of things. But there is definitely a line that some people will and won't cross in that way. And I think maybe that would be really funny to show on YouTube. Maybe we could get some people to, do their little camera thing. And
Yeah,
Maybe.
it's one of those things that I think would be a wonderful experiment, but at the same time, I can't think of any ethical way of doing it.
yes, exactly. Right. Because you always end up with bullshit, don't you?
Yeah, well, and you never really know what the after effects are going to be. You can't really remove that from somebody's mind afterward.
It's true.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
Yep.
Because when it comes
Agreed.
down to it, our personality is just the total of our experiences to date.
Yes. I was just saying that earlier, Purple. I was saying that despite all the shit I've been through in my life, I wouldn't change any of it because the outcome of who I am as a person, I love. So if that's what it took to get me here, then that's what it took.
Yeah, I agree there.
Yeah.
It's all about the journey. It's all about the experience,
Yeah.
You can claim genetics for a few things and so on and so forth, but seriously, there is so many cases of adopted kids who turn out to be like the parents they adopted them. Why? Well, environment.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, there was also three. Did you heard about the three guys in the US, right? They were triplets born. They were identical twins. They were adopted out separately to separate homes. One became an EMT, one became a firefighter, one became a police officer. And they found each other later through people or whatever because they were like, oh my God, I know somebody that looks exactly like that. It's this guy. So that change started, and I think it took a year or two for everybody to get them together or whatever. But they ended up meeting, and they were just identical twins, and they were like trying to serve the community and good people, and so interesting.
That's really cool.
Well, and even my oldest brother and I. Okay, granted, he was the oldest, I was the youngest, so there's a lot involved there that he had a couple of years that there weren't any other kids in the house type thing.
Right.
But we were raised in the same home. My parents stayed married, so same parents, same house, same neighborhood, and we have so little in common.
Interesting.
He is like fanatically religious to the point that I have trouble spending any amount of time with him.
Wow. On the flip side of that, Purple, I have a brother, my oldest brother. We did not know about him. He found us in 1998, and it turned out that my mother started dating this Navy officer, and basically he got her drunk, and she ended up pregnant, and she was 17. And so my grandmother made her give the baby up for adoption, and she never spoke of him. We had no idea. Our dad said something to that effect one time to my sister Susan, and I was like, "Why didn't you tell anybody?" She said, "Because it's Dad. He was a fucking liar. I just didn't think anything of it." And I was like, "Oh, okay, fair enough." But he is more like my mother than any of the rest of us. And he never met her besides at birth. She died in 89.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just I don't know. I feel like the base of the person is genetic, but if there's enough influence in the environment, then all can be changed. But I think we still have that base genetics in us that makes us. It's just like, adopted kid grows up, foster homes, whatever, adopted kid, and then they turn out to be like some crazy serial killer. Like, but their real parents were, one of them was probably a serial killer. You know what I mean? Like, you can only do so much. You still have that. I feel like there's still a base of who you are in there somewhere.
Yeah, but that's the
I'm high
biggest
as fuck,
takeaway.
Ox.
The whole
Go ahead.
project to decode the human genome and all this. The biggest takeaway they got from that, I mean, they thought that unraveling the human genome, that they would be able to identify, like, which parts controlled which traits and that.
Right.
And most of what they found is, damn, this is a fucking lot more complicated than we thought, because even if you contain the same chromosomes, we are not really sure what makes them activate.
Touche.
So obviously, yeah, you get the base construction set, but
Right.
whether or not specific traits activate, they really can't figure out what environmental factors cause that.
Okay. Well, there you go then. It is it does blow my mind the way things happen like that, though. Like my brother, he's built more like my mother, except just a bigger version. Bigger, stronger, sturdier, but pretty chubby at the same time. But just everything, like the love for music and the talent, and just read something and they just pick it up. I mean, he taught himself how to speak fluent Italian, and he learned it in like 9 or 10 months. It was insane. I'm like, you're your mom, and I pale in comparison. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. The only thing that's really different about him is his eyes. His eyes are a little different, and his nose is a lot different than the rest of the family. But the rest of him is pretty much my mom. So,
okay,
we don't know who his father is.
And I have to apologize with people on side chat that yeah, I have been drinking. I am still drinking because I still have half of one here, and I mix my drinks in a 32-ounce cup. So it takes a while to get through that. But
touche, perps. Touche.
Yeah, so switching back and forth between the conversation and the side chat, I'm bound to miss some things.
It's fine. I'm not offended.
Yeah, no, I'm just letting the people in the side chat know.
When I get really high and I'm drinking, I will like be having a conversation and go over to the side chat and get distracted. Well, I do that anyways because of the ADD, but it gets worse sometimes when I'm really high and drinking. I start looking at the side chat and then I go back to, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm on stream, because I'll literally forget. Oh yeah, I'm on stream, and then everybody's like, I'm like, I missed like 5 minutes of that. I have nothing to say right now. Fucking sucks though.
Yeah, I've had between 4 and 5 shots of whiskey in the last 2 hours, and there's probably about 2 shots left in the cup next to me here. So
okay, well, I've just been adding that extra dark rum and coffee liqueur into my coffee.
okay, yeah, I'm trying to get Sal in here, and apparently still having trouble on Twitter. So let's see if I can connect on. See if I can remember.
I thought you put it in Discord too.
Well, I'm seeing if I can remember how to work Discord now.
Well, Sal, I think it's on Discord. In the where are you guys putting the live links right now?
It's in the Shills live chats. I don't know if Sal has access to that or not.
No, I think Sal does. Pretty sure. I guess, man. Went to get a drink, take a piss. I don't know. Maybe the kids trying to not go to sleep. He's doing something. He'll be back.
Yeah, getting a beer, packing a bowl, something like that.
Yeah, all of that, maybe. Maybe all of it, perp. So what's new with you? You've been feeling okay and everything with the HRT and blah blah blah. You doing good?
The HRT is fine. I had another blood draw on Tuesday, so still waiting for the doctor to review the lab tests and get back to me.
Rock on.
But from what, if I'm understanding what it's saying online, it's going slowly for me, which I should have expected. I have a history with prescription drugs that they've usually had to prescribe about like twice what they usually use for someone with my body weight. Because it seems my system doesn't absorb them well. So I've got really good filtering systems of what comes out too.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough.
If I'm interpreting the lab test results properly, I think I'm still kind of in that gray area between what is considered, the low range for a male or the high range for a male and the low range for a female. So I'm kind of at that ambiguous stage that I could be considered either, and we probably have to push the dosage up or just give it a lot more time before I'm into the normal female range.
Right. Yeah. Do you know, funny fact that one of the providers I work for noticed, all of her patients that actively smoke cannabis, their estrogen levels are higher than what they should be for their age.
I had heard somebody mention that.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Sal. Hi.
Sal.
I'm glad you found your way in because I couldn't figure out how to connect with you, which, maybe if I hadn't been drinking, I would have figured out how to do this properly, but.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi, how are you?
Technically morning here because it's midnight, but I consider morning doesn't start until I can see the sun.
Agreed.
Okay, the sun is very much out here. How you guys doing? All right. Not so.
Yes.
Not so.
Doing good.
Yes.
Hanging out.
I just had to put a teenager to bed, but
no.
Yeah.
It's like you're a dad or something. Jeez.
Yeah, me never. That
Never.
that doesn't happen except for like every day and night of my entire life. But that's
Oh shit. I gotta adjust something here.
Yeah. Actually, Sal, I was trying to find you on Discord.
It's like you're a dad or something.
Sal, you're roboting really bad.
Yeah, you're cutting out a bit there, Sal.
Yeah, I'm only hearing like every third word from you. But I was trying to look you up on Discord. And when I did do the search, it's like it goes on infinitely saying it's searching and never comes up with any results.
Oh, I've got Sal's Discord details. I'll pass them on, no problem. It'll make it work. I got it.
Well, she posted them in the side chat there, but for some reason it's having trouble for me finding her.
Oh. Maybe the server is having issues that we should address in a future stream. Oh, I'd hate to see that. Come on.
Well, I don't think it's specifically your server. It just seems to be Discord in general. That it's just not coming back with any search results. Or maybe it's just that I'm missing a step and I'm not clicking the right box somewhere.
Discord is a real bitch with this stuff. Like real bad.
Yeah, like I say, I have not gotten to like Discord at all. I use it to get the links for the Shill shows, but that's really the only thing that I loaded up for.
Yeah, it's about where I'm at. No, I mean, I
so
use it for like Ben's thing and the one I started, which I don't even know if anybody's talking in there. I'm horrible about checking my shit.
Well, honestly, I think that these programs and apps are getting more and more uppity if you don't leave them on all the time. So the ones that I only turn on once or twice a week act like they're just pissed off and don't want to talk to me. You know, it's like a woman in a passive aggressive relationship.
I have never met a woman that had any passive aggressive issues.
Oh dear God.
So you're saying you've lived in a boys' boarding school all your life?
I'm kidding. Psych.
Oh, I'm scared to talk right now.
Yeah. I'm sure that to this day, my ex will not acknowledge that that had anything to do with our relationship ending after 12 years. But it's like, yeah, through the whole time, she expected I was going to change, and I kept telling her that that wasn't going to happen. So when the kids got old enough that I had outlived my usefulness, I got shoved out of the house.
Oh, you can't go into a relationship thinking, if I can only change this and this and this about that person, they would be ideal. That's not how it works.
Even if you see the good in someone and you know it can be fixed, they have to do it. PSA for everybody. They have to do it. You can't do it for them. You can be supportive. You can kind of nudge them, maybe help guide them a little bit, but you can't make that horse drink. People have to fix their own shit. I had plenty of people try to fix me. It didn't work.
Okay, and
I fixed my shit. It's just the way it is.
Yep.
I do need to give her a little slack because at the time of that relationship, my autism had not been properly diagnosed at that point.
Okay.
So it's like it was something I suspected, but I didn't have an official diagnosis for.
Right. Yeah, that
would do it.
Rough.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, we got Sal. Hey.
Yeah,
that's so much better. Yeah, you sound so much better now.
Oh, no, my phone rang. You know, guys, I'm using one device. It's a phone and a computer and streaming and everything. So when the phone rings, it, I don't know, kicks me out or, does something weird. So, yeah, I'm back.
Yay.
Yay.
It's nice to quote unquote see you again. How have you been?
Yeah, look, I was very itchy to talk about my kids because the whole adoption thing you guys were talking about. I do have a kid out there that I had to give up for adoption. I tried to keep him for like a year and 2 months, but I couldn't, and I had to do the best thing for me. And when I had my kids now, all of them know that they have a brother out there, so one day, if he does ever find me, because I'm not allowed to go look for him, but he's allowed to come look for me. Like I can't go to the office where I, put him up for adoption and say, okay, he's older than 18 now. Can I go look for him? I'm not allowed to do that, according to the law. So if he does come look for us, and, he rocks up at my door one day and he sees me with my kids, and my kids get surprised. Oh, Mom, you didn't tell us you had another child. It's not a good secret to have. And I've been watching those shows where, people do a little DNA, like an ancestry.com or something like that. Yeah. And they are finding out that they've got siblings out there where, like their mother was like, got pregnant at 15 or 16 and they gave the baby up for adoption. And then she went on to live, a normal life, seemingly normal. And then when the
Right.
truth comes out, she says how difficult it was to keep that secret and all of that. And I'm thinking, why? I understand,
Yeah.
there's some sort of like, what do you call it?
Well, I think it's just this.
Stigma.
Yeah, it's the social stigma.
Mm.
But
But
yeah,
not these days, man.
depending on your situation in life, you have to be realistic, and it may be the best thing for both you and the child.
Exactly, but I decided to tell my kids that they have a sibling out there because of all the stories of you hear families break down because of this kind of thing.
It's true.
Yep.
So if that
Well,
ever
yeah, if it
happens
comes
one
as a
day,
shock
that
to them when they're in their 20s, I can see that could be more of a problem.
Yeah.
yeah, my hubby found out that his dad had two other families besides his family.
Oh my God.
and and his dad was a real I don't want to be rude, but okay, it's like, yeah. So his brother was walking with, the girlfriend down the street, and they saw his dad, and the dad was with one of the other families. And my hubby's brother goes up and says, "Hi, Dad." And this oak says, "Who are you? I don't know you." And someone just walked away because he was with the
Wow.
other family. Yeah, no, people do shit things like this. Sorry.
That's just horrible. I can't even imagine doing that to somebody.
Yeah, and the moment my hubby's mom passed away, um, I don't even think it was a month where he moved all his stuff into the other woman's house.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not waiting around for this. I know. Well, that's my I have so many stories connected to what you just said. Oh my gosh. This is why I need to finish writing the book about my family. So okay, so my grandmother got married. She was Italian, full-blooded Italian, and she got married to this like Irish German looking guy who was a Navy officer. Consummated their marriage, got pregnant, had my mom, and then 2 months. My mom wasn't even 2 months old, like a month and a half old, I believe. And my grandmother found out, my nana found out that he was already married. And so she said, well, our marriage doesn't count. And she packed up my mom and their belongings and moved in with her mother. This was in 1942.
Holy crap.
1942,
And
she walked away from him. She went home to her mom, went to go look for a job. They were hiring on the docks because of all the men being out in the war. And she went and became a welder, and she welded on Navy ships for like a year and a half.
Wow.
So
That's
and
a
there are
strong woman for that
stories.
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, she was really literally a Rosie the Riveter.
Yep.
Like literally. And I think that my mom, one of the reasons she had so many kids, because after that happened with him, and also my son was adopted. I gave him up for adoption, and his dad took custody of him. I had no rights, took off with him, and I found him again when he was 15 and a half years old. And so, yeah, I got all, you just said like 50 things that relate to my family.
Yeah, and that's why Dick probably said I mustn't take over the chat and the conversation, because I have so many, okay, like my own experiences, and the people that were around me, especially in the last 25 years,
Right.
since I've been out of my home, and I've seen exactly how other people live. And then there's this show on our national broadcaster. They actually, week after week, and they've been doing it for about 20 years, where if you have a missing family member and you give them, some details about where you knew them, where they were last, however many years ago, these
Right.
people actually go out to look for the person you are looking for.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and when they find them, they take you They come and fetch you at your place, and they take you to the place of the people you were looking for. And
Oh,
they've been
wow.
doing this for 20 years. And it's not even a tip of the iceberg. And my heart just warms, when you hear the stories of these people. Oh, we were looking for you and we just didn't know where you were or how to find you. And thank God for these for these people who actually were able to find you. It's very heartwarming and heartbreaking.
Yeah, absolutely. So I didn't know that, but apparently Dick was adopted. What do you have to say about all that, Dick? Oh, did we lose him again?
When I close my eyes, there's some things that you just cannot take out of your mind. And when I close my eyes, I can actually see the day when my baby was taken by those people, And
Wow.
what they did was they said, okay, let him go on the Friday and they can keep him for the weekend and see how, he does with them. And then we'll sign the papers on the Monday. And I said, okay. And I was very poor. I was actually living at the Salvation Army at the time. And
Oh, shit.
I was homeless. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
I let him go for the weekend. And when he got back, when we met on the Monday, he was wearing name branded clothes. 1 year, 2 month boy wearing name branded clothes from head to foot, like he was looking swank. And
Nice.
Mhm.
I thought to myself, okay, if these people can look after my child like this, I can't do anything about it right now. So I just let it go, I just
Yeah,
let him go.
I've had issues just giving up a cat that way. I can't imagine your own child.
Yeah, it took me long. Hey, I struggled for about 5. Look, somebody stole him when he was like 4 months old from me. Because
What?
at that time I had a white boyfriend and he was going to take me to his family, with the baby. And we
Right.
had to sleep on like a halfway house for the night because we ended up there in the nighttime. And in the morning, the people there decided that they don't like the fact that we are an interracial couple. So they
Oh my
stole the
God.
baby and they put the baby in a place of safety. It took us like 3 months to find him.
Oh my God, man. I can't even
What
fucking
arrogant
imagine.
bastards.
Jeez.
Yeah, that was so
I just
bad.
can't. I can't even imagine that.
Yeah, and when I think about it, this happened to me. Yeah, it was crazy. We found him, and it's so I don't know, like a coincidence or ironic, because where they put the baby after they stole him is where my kids are living now. And those people, because we actually went there, we finally tracked the baby down and we got to the house, and they said we are just on time because that was a Monday, and the Tuesday they were going to actually sign the documents to give the family who was looking after him legal custody.
Wow.
So, yeah, and these people don't recognize me. My kids are living there right now,
Mm.
and they don't recognize me. And every time I think to myself, should I ask them? Should I ask them? And then I never ask them.
It's probably best that you don't, but yeah, that's. I
Yeah,
would
but
have a hard time dealing with those people knowing that.
yeah, but they didn't steal the baby, They were just the place of safety that the people who
Yeah.
stole the baby, sent the
Yeah,
baby
I
to.
guess I don't know enough about the situation to really say too much, so.
Yeah. No, we were at a halfway house when the baby was stolen from us. And the boyfriend I had at the time, who wasn't the father of the baby, he just fell in love with me, and the baby went like with a package. So he was gonna like look after all of us. And in that 3 months, he was with me, hunting for the baby. And the people who stole the baby didn't want to tell us where they sent the baby to. So it was
Yeah,
very
Sal,
difficult.
Liam directed this at you. I didn't know I had an older sister until I was 41 because the adoption was closed. She looked for our mom after both her adoptive parents had died.
Yeah, it's very difficult, especially when you don't know where, your parents put the baby up for adoption, or where, like maybe even the person who handled your case, has passed away or moved away. It's a very difficult situation. I say these days, do your DNA test, you know, especially like with that database they've got. I think it's ancestry.com, where once you do your test, it goes into like a search where if
Mhm.
somebody else matches, like has a close match to you, they will let the people know that your DNA matches with somebody somewhere. And then you can learn. Because okay, the reason I feel so passionate about this, because my mother lost 2 children, right? And she wasn't awake to actually see the babies die, or know the babies actually died, and then had a chance to bury her babies. Both times she like passed out while giving birth, and then when she woke up, they told her that your baby died. So in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, because my family was very cruel to my parents, what if they just stole the baby and sent the baby somewhere?
Yeah.
So I always have that thought in the back of my mind. So if I ever get a chance
Yeah.
to do that DNA test, maybe if they were alive, I'd find them. My own, brothers.
Yeah, it's a horrible thought, but yeah, you can't stop thinking about that.
And
Wondering
that feeds
what
into
if
your
they're
thing
out
you were
there
saying.
somewhere.
Yeah,
It would
that thing
drive
in
me
your
crazy.
mind.
I couldn't.
Yeah, look, there are a lot of things in my life which should drive me crazy, like probably make me lose my mind. But I think I have a very good mindset, because I've been through so much, and you can't just let everything bog you down. Then you end up not living this life. You keep
Right.
living in those memories.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry, am I being too philosophical late in the night or early in the
No,
morning?
you're fine. You're fine.
Look, I don't have anybody to talk to in real life
Yep.
besides my hubby.
No.
So I just talk yours
Yep.
ears off.
Liam again saying it turned out that the new home was 3 streets away from my grandma and we had played together as children.
Oh God. That
Aw.
is so
Yeah.
heartbreaking. Oh my, at least he got to spend time with her as a person.
Yep.
I'm
And don't apologize for
wow.
unloading here. This community on YouTube is the only thing that kept me sane the last 2 years I was stuck in Michigan before everyone helped me move. And it is only because of this community that I was able to afford a U-Haul to be able to move back to Minnesota. Because that small town in Michigan, if I had stayed there, it was just a matter of time until I became an alcoholic.
Wow, that bad, hey?
Yep.
Wow, I'm so
It
sorry.
was just completely the wrong environment for me. So I am so grateful to everyone in this community who helped me get out of there.
Because we all love
I'm
you, Perp.
grateful because here you are doing your thing and being free, and you. Unfortunately, the way the world is now, we have to have our own freedom of mind before we try and tackle what's going on in the world.
Yep.
So I
Box
try to
says you're
keep
not judged
myself.
here. We don't allow it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right, Ox.
Thank
What's the
you.
rule,
Yeah.
man? Don't be
Well,
a dick.
and Ox is one of my Patreon supporters, one of the people who is paying to keep this channel running.
Well, look, I don't have it. I have 2 people that gave me dollars, which is still sitting in my PayPal. I'm very happy about that. But otherwise, yeah, no, I love dollars, guys. I love
Okay,
dollars.
honestly, I never actually set up the thing on Patreon. I went in there and created an account to make sure no one else could use my name on the Patreon service. And I never expected anyone to subscribe. So after 2.5 years, this month I took out my first withdrawal from Patreon. And
Wow.
actually, I'm going to wind up using most of that money to buy a headset for Jenny Morgan because she's in my chat every month and just, she has a lot of problems with background noise, so we need to get her a better headset.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, her
And
computer
like,
died and her headphones died, and yeah,
Yeah,
she just doesn't have any money.
she gets on here every week using just her phone.
Yep.
But,
yeah,
she's the person who is the most regular in my chats. So, yeah, we need to help her out to improve her audio quality.
absolutely. Once I start getting more money, there are a few people who I want to support.
Yeah.
I'm sorry it will be a small amount, but I was told that any bit helps because in my country we have a saying, a bicky bicky maak meer,
Oh, yeah.
So a little bit makes a lot. So yeah, I will
Nice.
also start helping soon.
Okay,
Now things
Sal.
are, yeah.
Okay, I don't want you to put yourself out there if you're not ready to, but yeah, I know you're in Africa somewhere below the equator. I don't know which country you're in.
South Africa.
Oh, okay, so you're all the way down at the bottom.
Yeah. What did you want to say?
No, that's all. I wasn't sure which country in Africa you were in.
Oh, yeah, look, South Africa, we have the capabilities, for the technology and things like that.
Mhm.
But for some reason, it seems like the people who have provided us these services are sort of like tired now. They're tired of providing the service. So the service drops, like the network will just drop for no reason.
Well, the political situation down there is not the most stable, is it?
Do you really want to get me started on that one? Oh my God.
Well, yeah, and I'm in North America, so yeah, I only see it sporadically, but I see enough of it.
It's very bad. As I said to you guys the other morning, we have a police minister who's never been a cop. We have the Minister of Defense who's never been in the military.
Oh my God.
We have the Minister of Finance who's probably never owned a business.
Oh.
Yeah, we have all these unskilled, they're not even semi-skilled. We have people who are supposed to be in charge of like water and sanitation, yet vast swathes of the population still get their water out of water tankers and pay exorbitant amounts for like 25-liter drums of water and things like that. The water is the biggest contention for me because just for $750 million US, we can build a desalination plant. And that is one of my biggest dreams. If ever I had to, fall with my ass in the butter, like win a major lotto or something, I want to
Wouldn't that
build
be
a
nice?
desalination. Yes, man. Desalination. I've got this big dream in my head of just giving my people, water for free. I mean, it's water. So
Basic
we
human
have
need,
people.
folks.
Yeah, we have people who don't have proper toilets, who don't even have toilets. So yeah, we've got problems, and you've got we have probably one of the biggest parliaments in the world. There's almost like 500 people as part of parliament, but nothing really gets done in, outside of parliament. You just got the people arguing back and forth about stupid things.
Yeah.
I feel like just build the basic houses, give the people, I mean, there's so much land, right? So much land just lying in waste. Just give each person a little piece of land, 40, 50 square meters or something, give them a start, because they are like the builder's warehouse. It's a shop where you can buy your building materials. Now you go there, you can buy a little package for like 20 grand, my money. Like, the bricks, the cement, the windows, the doors, the little basin, the tap connections, everything, just to build a 2-room house and, have a little amenity. You can do that. And people need, then, when you're not worried about a roof over your head, where you're going to lay your head for the night, you can concentrate on other things like getting a job and things like that. But if your belly is empty and you have nowhere to lay your head, you're going to get cranky and do some wrong things.
Yeah,
Agreed.
well, that's, I realize that I'm actually living what's considered below the poverty level in America. And I realize that I'm still doing a lot better than people in a lot of countries because, I know pretty much whatever happens, at least I've got a warm, dry place to sleep and I'm going to have food every day.
That's right.
And that is my biggest contention. When I was homeless, obviously there was nowhere to lay my head. So what I did was I started hiking. I hiked all across my country. I've seen my whole entire country basically for free. Because I'm Indian and most of the truckers are black men, they would always get excited to say, "Oh, you're an Indian. Can you cook Indian food?" "Yes, you're coming along with me. I'm going to buy all the stuff. Please cook for me."
Wow.
And that's how I was able to make my, way. I was homeless for 4 years. And I was able to not, become an alcoholic or a drug addict. I was able to talk myself into surviving, basically, because when I was rendered homeless in the beginning, I had any knowledge about anything. My mother didn't really let me go outside to play, and when she did, there were strict rules, and she kept me very close to her. So when she passed away and my family did this to me, my uncle told me, "You are going to die out there because your mother brought you up like a flower." And that was 26 years ago.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, I need to step away for a moment, so just keep going.
All right. So, and I survived because of the truckers. They were so surprised, because the Indian community is supposed to be so close, and the families are supposed to be together. And when they saw me on the road all alone, they were taken aback, and then they wanted to look after me. So I was telling my pet, they were literally only 2 times I had to run for my life, and 2 times where I couldn't get away and I had to, fight for my life.
Right.
And I won because I'm here.
Yeah, obviously. I was going to say, I'm glad you made it. Good job. Good job, Shill.
Yeah. No, the one guy, I had to hit him with the bottle, with a full bottle of vodka. I had to hit him because he wouldn't stop attacking me. So it was his bottle, and when you watch the movies and you see people looking around for something to, and so we were on the beach, so I had the sand and the bottle, so I just grabbed a handful of sand and threw it at him.
I would have hit him with the bottle too, yeah.
Yeah, and then I hit him with the bottle, and have you ever seen a big fat person run for their lives?
Only when I watch myself run, Sal.
Yo, I didn't even know I could move that fast. Holy crap. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, that's
And
funny
that,
shit.
yeah, no, that was my experience. And then in July of 2000, the lady who would become my friend, Nikki, she picked me up. And it just so happened that the lady who was, she had a little home business. The lady who was working for her left that exact morning. And then she picked me up and she says, so, she said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to Durban. She said, what's there for you? I said, nothing. She said, well, would you like to live in my house? I can give you a job. I can, give you board and food, and, we
Yeah.
can, you can have somewhere to live. And that's how I ended up having, becoming unhomeless.
Right. Yeah, I actually have a similar story, but I was not homeless that long. Mine was only like 2.5 months. I had this is crazy. So I had my child, gave them up for adoption. They went into like a foster home for a few weeks until the paperwork was done, and came back. I had to go to annual training for the National Guard. I was in the Army. And so I left and I came back and there was an eviction notice on the door. And apparently all the money because back then, we paid everything with cash. So that I was very pregnant and they were taking the cash over to the landlord for me. Apparently they were stashing it all and I didn't know it. So I come back and they cleaned out my apartment. I had 2 king size water beds in there. They dumped the water on the floor and took everything. And because they knew we were getting evicted and I did not. And so the people below where we lived, when they came home, their entire house was flooded. Like their whole entire apartment was flooded. I came back to my car sitting there with some old work clothes, a half broke stereo, and a barely worked microwave, and all the rest of my shit was gone.
Oh,
and
God.
and it gets better.
Was that family?
Oh, it gets better. No, just friends of mine, friends that live in the same
God.
apartment with me. I was helping people out and doing stupid shit and trusting too many people. And so I got in my car because I got brought back from AT by a friend. She had picked me up and took me there, and she was bringing me back. And my car's sitting there, and I pull out my spare key and go to start it up, and it's dead. It won't run.
They stole the battery also.
So I lived with her for a few weeks, and then the Army sent her back to Germany. And so she was like, I'm going. It's better over there for me. I have family there, blah, blah, blah. So she left, and I had nowhere to go, and she helped me get my car fixed. And I tried to offer to send her money. She said, don't worry about it. Just, have a good life kind of thing. And so I lived in my car, and I would walk across the street. There was a gas station, and I was bathing in the gas station bathroom. As well as you can, but a little tiny ass sink, but whatever. It was water. So I was doing that and washing my clothes in the sink, and I would literally like wash the sink every day before I started. So
yeah, no,
it was probably the cleanest that sink had ever been. But anyway, so I was coming back.
Many people didn't want to believe that I was homeless because I always kept myself nice and clean. And
you can do that if you pay attention. Yes.
Yeah.
So I was walking back from the gas station, going to go across the street, and this guy was walking by that I knew, and he was like, "Hey man, what's up?" And I was like, "Oh man, nothing. I don't even want to get into it." And he's like, "Hey, come have a beer with me." And I was like, "Nah, man, I don't have any cash." And he's like, "Well, I was gonna drink all night, but I'll split it with you." And I was like, no. And he was like, "Oh, come on, I'll buy you at least 2." And I was like, "Fine." So I go in the bar, and we're talking, and he's like, "What's going on? What, you're usually really happy. What's up?" And so I tell him everything, and the bartender came over and said, "I'm not trying to be nosy, and I'm sorry I overheard, but do you need a job? Because I need somebody." And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I do." And he said, because I was like in a desert wasteland of no jobs where I was stuck at with no gas in my car. So he was like, yeah, I'll hire you. You can sleep inside the bar. And I was like, fine. So I did that. I had slept in my car for 3 weeks. I slept inside the bar for over a month and saved up money and saved up enough money that I had found a friend who let me sleep on their floor. And so I did that. And then I made it to someone else's place that could let me sleep on their couch. And so I literally just worked my way up and
from the floor. Damn. Yeah.
pull myself up. Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah,
but it wasn't that long for me, but I don't know. My sister always said, you know, B, every time you fall in a pile of shit, you always come out smelling like a rose, and I don't know how you fucking do it. I don't know. Lucky.
No,
I guess
look,
I'm really lucky.
I guess that, like I heard you saying before I entered the stream, that you wouldn't change your life for anything because look where you are. And I would say the same thing because I've been through hell. You know, I've literally been through hell, and look where I am now. If I didn't go through all, and I'm living a really nice life. It's not the best life, but it's nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's comfortable, right?
I don't struggle for food. I don't struggle for a smoke. If I want to go somewhere, my hubby, you know, gives me the money. He doesn't even need me to go to work right now. So, you know, we are living just above that poverty line. But we managed to buy a car, and it's a really nice car. It's a Mercedes Benz. So
Right.
V8, very nice car. And it took us a very long time. Him and I, we started with nothing. When we met each other, we were literally having nothing. You know, he's the way I met him is even, I think, a miracle. You know, I know most people don't believe in God, but when I tell the story, it's almost like a miracle. So yeah, I'm very happy with my life right now. Who knows what kind of life I would have been living if those people didn't do to me, because they're terrible people, right?
Yeah.
They would have oppressed me like fucked up. Because that's why they made me homeless. They wanted me to give up my house and go and live with them so they can tell me what to do. You know, they can rule my life. They even put me in jail for a night to try and threaten me before they threw me out of my house.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was my own cousin who came to take me to the station for questioning.
Wow.
So I'm sorry I'm laughing, but at that time no one was laughing. Now I think about it, my hubby is, you know, so awesome, and my kids, they love me probably more than I deserve, you know, because they're not with me, but they love me. And yeah, no, the life I'm living now, if they didn't do that to me, I don't know. So I'm grateful in a way that they did do that to me, because yeah, I'm here.
Well, you know, for me, excuse me, you know, for me, it's more about the consequences if it had gone a different way. And I'll explain that. So if my mother didn't pass away when I was 18, I wouldn't have ended up in Florida. If I didn't end up in Florida, I wouldn't have ended up pregnant. I wouldn't have my son to this day. So that's one thing. So no matter how I work it in my head, different scenarios, if things had changed or been different, it all comes out to my life not being anything like it is now, and not in a good way, you know, and not like better.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that combined with who it's made me into as a person, I'm more compassionate, I'm more kind, more caring. I thrive off of helping people now. That's just how I am. And all of that happened because of all of those all those circumstances. You add them all up and it made me a better person. So as much as it sucked, I wouldn't change any of it.
Yeah. Look, the homeless part was really hard because there were times of the year where the truckers weren't as prolific, like in the December time, Christmas time.
Right.
And in the beginning, I didn't know how beneficial they will be, to my survival. So I didn't, in the beginning, I had no clue. I had no clue. Then, after about 7 days of being homeless and hungry and, thirsty, and I was stealing the little packets of sugar and getting water and drinking sugar water.
I have actually heard of a lot of homeless people doing that. Yeah.
Yes. And so
I
the one,
stole Spam and Vienna sausages from the gas station. That's what I did.
okay, that's one thing
And
I
I'm
haven't
pretty
done.
sure the girl, I'm almost positive the woman that worked there knew I was doing it because she never bothered me. I would walk in, steal something, walk out. I would make that one can of Spam or Vienna sausage or whatever I stole that day would last me for 2 to 3 days. That's all I would eat. And
Yeah.
when I got a job and I had some money and I walked over there and I had probably stolen about, well, the cans back then were like 33 cents. So, over 3 weeks,
Yeah.
I didn't steal that
Yeah.
much, but probably
Yeah.
$4 worth or $5 worth. But I walked over and I handed her 20 and because she was like, can I help you? And I said, you can. And I handed her 20 and she said, what is this for? And I said, and she nodded and slid it under the register. And that
Yeah.
was that.
I've
Oh,
had
that
2
was
periods in
very
my
sweet.
life.
Yeah,
I
she
had
totally could have had me arrested a long, long way before that.
I've had 2 periods in my life that I was homeless. Each one was only for a couple of months, but yeah, I had to do some shoplifting to get by. Not proud of it, but
Mm-hmm. I can
the,
remember eating what I stole.
yeah, the last time
Yep.
I was sleeping in the garage
Hi.
of a property I had worked on because I knew the house was empty and I didn't have keys to the house, but I had the garage code, so it was the only dry place I could get to sleep.
Right.
I remember the
Wow.
one night I had nowhere to sleep. I found some cardboard boxes and I put it on the back of somebody's bakkie, and because their bakkie was parked under, like a roof, one of those parking areas that had like a roof. So I just put the box on the bakkie and I slept on the bakkie. But after I realized, because I realized truckers have a big heart. So the one day I got a lift, and I'm not even 5 minutes into the journey. He says, "Are you hungry? I am fucking starving. I need to stop at the next
Fuck,
garage."
fuck
I
yeah.
looked around. I said, "Yes, please."
Yeah.
And yeah, the rest is history. So I never had to shoplift. I'm very grateful for that. In
That's
fact, I don't
awesome.
even think it occurred to me, to do that, because I had already found a way to get food. So
Right.
Well, and that's why where I am at now. That when I see people in our community who are saying that they need $20 to get them through the end of the month or whatever. I'm trying to do everything I can because I can't pay back the people I took it from before. So all I can do is try to pay it forward.
absolutely, pay it forward
Yeah.
is an excellent idea. But what I won't do, like if I'm walking in the streets and somebody says, "Don't you have a $20 for me? I'm hungry," I would rather go and buy them the food, because there
Yeah.
are instances where they take the money and buy booze. So I don't even buy booze with my own money.
Well, and I've thought about that a lot over the years. And at this point, I'll give them $5 or $10 because having been in that situation, I can even understand buying a bottle of booze just to numb yourself enough not to think about it for a couple hours.
Well,
Yeah.
that too. And then there are the absolute necessity, especially a woman who might need menstrual pads.
Yep.
You can't eat those. You're not buying a meal for somebody when you're buying that, but you are buying a necessity.
Yeah. Although Sloth Girl actually has ever since we moved, made it an ongoing thing that she is doing like hats and mittens for the homeless people. And when she
Yeah.
sees something like that, someone like that in the parking lot, she will go in and buy them a couple of sandwiches.
Yeah, I've resorted to doing that now. When I'm out there I go out there every 2 weeks to visit my kids, and because things are so much better now, than they were like
Yep.
2, 3 years ago. I can afford to buy somebody, a loaf of bread, or we have these fat cakes. They are simply yeast dough fried in oil, and they like puff up. And
Nice.
one is enough to be a meal on its own. So I don't mind just, buying one or two for the people that I pass, because where I go, there's actually a homeless community.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Sloth Girl
Yeah.
has identified where there is basically the homeless camp behind some of the stores here.
Yeah.
Goes regularly to like leave like clothing and blankets hanging on a tree there where she knows that they're going to come by there.
That is very sweet. That is so
Awesome.
kind. And, there are so many actually people like that, but they get drowned out by the people who are doing the nasty or the dirty. And when you look at
Yeah,
the news, none of these stories make it to the news because it's so overwhelmed by the rotten that is going on.
yeah, and I'm certainly not going to say anything to anyone who works at the store, but I have seen indications that I'm pretty sure that there are a couple of them who are sleeping in the display sheds that are erected outside of one of the building centers here.
Mm.
The
And
models
it's
that they have for people to look at, I think there's
Yeah.
been somebody sleeping in those.
that is very heartbreaking, especially to hear this from America. That, I mean, you think like these things are going on in the depths of Africa or Asia or somewhere, but you hear of these things going on in America, and you think,
Yeah,
what hope is there for the rest of us if that's what's happening there?
there's really no excuse for it here, but I've come to look at society as being like an economic ladder, and that anyone, regardless of where they are on the ladder, really can't see more than like 2 steps above or 2 steps below them. So somebody who's living in a $500,000 home sees somebody who's working a 9 to 5 job and thinks they're poor and doesn't see that there's a dozen steps lower down than that they never realize.
Yeah. Okay, but fine, you are living in a $500,000 home, but how did you get there? Was it handed to you on a silver platter, or did you, work to get it? Because the one who was handed it on a silver platter is not going to feel, the two rungs before or two rungs below. uh, the one who has worked hard for it, and blood, sweat, and tears, and all of that, and when they look at their house, they feel that pride and sense of achievement. It's not the same feeling. So the person looking, got the thing on a silver platter, looking down at the other people, thinking, oh, look at my $500,000 home. There's not much achievement in there. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess you got to balance it out. No, but how can you not know, guys? We know that there are steps of that ladder.
Well, unfortunately, in the US, yeah, most of the people, if they were already started out at a position of suburban middle class living by their parents, most of them haven't fallen below that level, so they don't really realize there's much below that.
But that is so silly, because aren't you watching the world? I watch everything. I want to know what's
Yeah.
going on, all the time with everything, although I don't get it all, but okay.
Well, and
But
unfortunately, even in the U.S., everything's political, and there's so much political propaganda that like anyone who's collecting government assistance is just because they're lazy. It's not because of any unfortunate thing that they couldn't control. It's just because they don't want to work. That's the message that the Republican Party keeps selling.
The convenient message.
I'm not going to
seriously, I
say
mean,
that's not the case sometimes. Some
yeah, I
people
mean, but
they can pull them up by themselves up by their bootstraps if they wanted to, but that's not the majority.
yeah,
I
it's
was
not
gonna
the
Well,
say,
majority. Yes.
yeah, Sloth Girl had a great way of putting that. It's like, they keep saying for people to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, but what if you can't afford boots?
yeah, I got it.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the thing about I was saying about, if you have a place to lay your head and you don't have to worry about what's gonna go into your belly, you can then go and, look for a job and
Yeah,
do your thing. Even people in this country, they don't want the handout. They want the economy to grow.
yeah,
They want to get up every morning and, go to work and feel like they are contributing to society. And everywhere you look, oh, I'm cutting this amount of jobs, I'm cutting that amount of jobs. And did you guys see the looting that happened in my country in July?
Which country is this?
South Africa, sorry.
Oh, okay.
South
No, I
Africa.
hadn't seen. No.
I know that there was some rioting going on. I didn't really, know any of the information really about
Oh
it.
no, it wasn't rioting, it was looting. The people literally went on a rampage and cleaned out malls, shops, retail stores, groceries, you name it, they stole it.
What was the reason?
Well, the political situation is quite tense. So the ex-president sold our country, they call it state capture, to these group of Indians from India whom they allowed into the country and gave them stakes in all the state entities. And with that, they were siphoning the money, out of the departments.
Oh
And
boy.
now that ex-president needs to stand trial, right? So he kept on saying, no, he's not going to go in front of the commission. He's not going to go in front of the commission. So they found him in contempt of court and they put him in jail for a few days. And his supporters actually went mad. That's why they did it. They did it to threaten the government to release him.
Okay, then.
And we all like products like milk, cheese, yogurt, any perishable food item is on, they call it on swell, where you can only have a minimum amount because there's not enough stock to stock all the shops.
Okay,
So,
gotcha. Yeah.
and they're working on a first come, first serve because shops were looted. And because of COVID, production was already slowed to the absolute bare minimum.
Yeah, well,
So
and distribution networks have been a mess worldwide.
there's no ice cream in the shops, guys. And I know Joe Biden loves ice cream, but there's no ice cream in the shops. Yeah, no,
I love
and we're
ice cream.
coming up
They won't
to.
let me have any.
Okay, so the best part about that whole looting was some of the people stole Samsung products. And if you know anything about Samsung products, they use a satellite, right? So when you buy the product, you register with the company and they actually track your Samsung. And those UHD 3D TVs, when they realized that their TVs and the phones were stolen, they informed the company. The company put a thing on the tracker, and the moment these people put their TVs on, they got a message to say, no signal. Please contact the service provider. And then they were able to track and go and get all their products back.
Oh, I like it.
Me too. Okay, it was
Bye,
very bad.
Ox. Have a good night, buddy.
Night,
He's
Ox.
taking off.
Okay.
Oh,
Good
Ox, you take care,
night.
honey. See you tomorrow.
I'm sorry, but I'm so old that when you say Samsung, my first reference is to luggage, not electronics.
Yeah, Samsung has come a long way. My hubby has a Samsung A21, and he's going to give me that phone when he gets his new phone. And his birthday is this month. I suspect he's going to do it this month. He was going to do it in July, but then all the looting happened. The shops ended up not having, because he can't downgrade from the phone he's got now. That phone
Well,
upgrades itself,
no.
guys.
And unfortunately, a reference that probably nobody but me would get because you have to be in the niche market and old enough to remember it. But Samsung was actually the original US distributor for Lego.
Wow.
Really?
Back in the late 60s.
Jesus Christ, how old are you?
I'm 57. I was born in 64. So yeah,
Oh,
I
not
started
that
collecting
old.
Legos in 69.
Yeah,
You know,
and
I
he's not
feel-
the oldest one in the room either.
Nope.
Oh.
Nope, it's not
Um,
me.
Well, last week Sunday was my birthday, so I'm
Well,
almost
happy
half a.
birthday.
Yay!
How old are you, Sal?
I'm not too worried about it because judging by the the genetics on my mother's side, and everybody says I take after my mother's father. And the things that I know I need to avoid, like becoming an alcoholic, I think I've got a better than average chance of beating 100. So I've still got about another 4 decades to go here.
My mom was also an alcoholic, and I rarely ever drink. Sorry, I'm almost half a century on this earth, 48.
I remember 48.
Well, I have been drinking significant amounts tonight, but I keep it down to only about once a week now, whereas in Michigan it was getting close to almost every night.
Oh, it's so nice when you actually realize what you are doing to yourself and take steps to, mitigate it.
Well, in
I like
Michigan, I was
people.
fully aware of what I was doing, but as long as I was living there, excessive drinking was better than actually being aware of it. In fact, I actually had a therapist tell me that I was not clinically depressed. I was just too self-aware of being in a bad situation.
Which is worse,
Okay.
though, being clinically depressed or being aware that you're in a bad situation.
Yeah, but
It's like which is the
having a
lesser of the two
professional
evils.
having a professional confirm that yeah, it was just that I was too intelligent for the place I was living in.
You know it's bad when that
It's always
happens.
nice to hear. I'm sorry, Diana. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, it's bad when that happens.
Yeah,
You're too
well,
smart
right.
for your
so
neighborhood.
again, I cannot help thanking the people in this community, who donated to help Sloth Girl and I, that when the opportunity was available, that when we found apartments here in the same building, that people donated so we were able to get the U-Haul and get the help we needed to move. And alias fake name, who lives about 2.5, 3 hours from us, actually drove here on the day we arrived to help us unload the truck.
Yep.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, that is awesome. Here where I am, not to brag on my hubby, but he seems to be the only one who actually does his job, because we had electricity problems for 2 days. The transformer was struck by lightning twice.
Oops.
And
Oh, damn.
yeah, but we have a very nice generator. It's a ship engine, guys. and it powers this whole place. And the boss told the guy who works outside, my hubby works inside, told the guy, just keep an eye on the generator because it runs on diesel. And because the ESCOM is not going to come fix the problem soon, we need to keep the diesel at a good level. Next, my hubby is on lunch here. He wasn't home at 10 minutes. He said, you know what? I got to keep an eye on the generator because of the diesel. Next thing, the TV starts flashing, all the lights starts flashing. He, rips out of here. He gets there, and for sure, the diesel level wasn't checked and the generator was busy dying. I mean, One Oak couldn't just keep an eye on it. So, yeah. And the boss was even more angry because my hubby is about 100, 150 meters away from the generator. And he was there first. So after they finished fixing the generator and getting it back up and running, from here, and it's about 100 meters into the parking lot, and I am on the first floor, so I'm not on the ground floor, but I could hear the boss swearing those guys from where I was, which is not really uncalled for because, I mean, one simple instruction, just do your job.
Fact. Understand the assignment, execute it. That's right.
Yeah, the boss has a problem because these people just, I don't know. I don't know. And it's a retail store, Retail store has so many needs, It's very big. I'm very lucky. If I was somewhere else and the electricity went off, I probably would have had to stay without electricity.
Well, yeah. I mean, you talk about this, and again, it just more brings home the point of just how privileged I am in the situation that, yeah, we've had a couple of power outages here, but they're never more than a couple hours. In fact, we've had 3 since I moved here. 2 of them were in the middle of the night. No one else in the building even noticed. I was only aware of it because I was the only one up until 3 a.m.
Yeah, we unplug everything because the lightning here has a knack of hitting the transformer for some reason. So
yeah, I think all 3 of the ones here are because a vehicle had hit one of the power poles or transformers.
And when electricity is bleeding, it's blue.
Oh yeah, I have seen these. I have seen the
It's-
spectacular effect of one of the transformers explodes from overload.
Yes. Ooh.
Yeah, you
So
get all
it's-
the pretty blue sparks, and it's just a wonderful fireworks display for about half a minute. And
Yeah. Yeah, it's not aliens. Look, guys, it's blue light. What's happening? Sorry.
Yeah, that depends on what state you're in, whether that comes up or not. At least here.
I was actually, there's been a few times in my life where I took like a half an A and yeah, I didn't hallucinate. It was very disappointing.
I'm sorry to hear that.
oh,
Yeah, me too.
I mean, whatever you were going for, if it didn't work for you, I'm sorry to hear it.
there was one in
Yeah.
New York City just last year of a transformer on a power pole exploding. And there were dozens, if not hundreds, of people who thought it was an alien craft landing.
We saw the video. There was a video, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was a video on YouTube. That's where I saw it.
Yeah, me too. Yep. Everything is a conspiracy, don't you know?
Well, yeah.
Clouds are a conspiracy.
I find the UFO sightings particularly humorous. Because
And it
when I
only
was-
happens in America.
Well, when I was 14, my foster brother and I had run a fishing line from his second store bedroom window around the lines of the telephone poles in the alley. And when it
Oh
got dark,
God.
we ran a model we had built, of parts left over from plastic model kits, and put a couple of LED lights in it, back and forth a couple of times. And when the local paper came out a couple of days later, there were a couple of dozen reports of a UFO sighting.
That's
And
funny.
I've never told anybody of it. I never confessed to that until about 2 years ago.
That's funny. Did you keep the articles though?
No, unfortunately, I should have saved copies of the local paper from that. I
Yeah,
wonder if
you
there's an
should.
archive I can go back to.
If and say, yeah, guys, I
Yeah.
got you like
Yeah,
30
it
years
was
ago,
just a
whatever.
prank by a couple of teenagers, but the police had reported several UFO sightings.
Look, I would say that there's not, the possibility of aliens is not impossible. There must be something. If we are here, there must be something out there, right? But
That's what I always say, Sal. It's very egotistical of us and stupid of us to sit here and think that we're the only beings that are intelligent anywhere. Bullshit.
yeah,
I don't believe
and
it.
I don't, what our idea of intelligent is may not be what the other being's idea of, what we call intelligence and things
Yeah,
like
we're
that.
probably going to be really stupid compared to them. That's
Yeah.
my fear.
Well, statistically, I think it's inevitable that there are aliens elsewhere in the universe. It's just a
Yes.
question of whether or not they would expend the resources necessary to bother and visit us.
And
see us
the
being worth-
distances, the
I can't see
distances
us
are
being
so
worth
vast,
visiting.
man. Sorry, darling.
I can't see humans being worth visiting.
Right?
No, we are wonderful. No, we
Well,
are wonderful, actually. I wish
have
if there
thought
was
about
an
this a
alien,
lot.
they choose me.
I mean, I really like what Neil deGrasse Tyson had to say about that years ago. It's like the difference between us and a chimpanzee is about 2%. So when you think the difference in cognition between the human and the chimp and the whole bit. Now, what if there is a species out there, and there almost certainly is, that is 2% greater than humans, and they're looking at us and, oh, look at them! They're Stephen Hawking. He can do he can do quantum electrodynamics in his head.
Yeah.
How cute! My 4-year-old has that on the refrigerator. It's great.
Yeah, and it takes us a long time, like long periods of time to do things.
Well, I've thought about this
it's-
a lot, both from a scientific standpoint and from the standpoint of being a science fiction author. And I've come to the conclusion that the one thing that I can think of that they might come here for is consider the extremes that people will go to bring exotic pets into this country.
Oh
It's
God,
true.
they want to
Yeah,
want us to be pets to them.
Yeah. So how much would somebody pay for to actually, have specimens from another planet as exotic pets in their menagerie?
Oh God.
Holy
Holy shit.
So yeah, just as a huge status symbol to have humans in the terrarium.
God, you just sent my mind into a different dimension. Holy shit. Yeah, no. Okay.
Well,
I
and there was one other reason I've come up with as a possibility for aliens coming here, which is the premise of my book, is basically intergalactic Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh,
That
God.
they feel it is a spiritual duty to try and bring every intelligent species in the universe to follow their emperor eternal, and that even if this means enslaving a species, if they die in the service of their Emperor Eternal, they still feel they have done a good thing.
I like Liam's comment over here. There's a lot more than 2% difference between a Flurf and Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope that if they do come to contact us, they don't get in touch with a Fluff, because Fluff thinks the laws of physics don't work, So how will that work? Because they, whatever species they are, they would have to work with their planet's laws of physics, right? So the Fluffs are not going to help us.
I like what Jeff said here. Flurfs are a reason the aliens won't communicate with us.
Well, there is already an extension to the Flurfs, that since we have landers running around on Mars, there is now a flat Mars society.
Yeah, but I don't even take that seriously, man. They're stupid. That's stupid.
But
that's stupid.
Until I got on YouTube, I did not take flat earthers seriously. Until 3 years ago, I thought it was just a running joke. I didn't know there was anyone who believed it.
As I told you, until 3 years ago, I didn't even know that there were flat earthers until 3 years ago. And I've been catching up on... Sorry,
I had seen it as like a punchline in cartoons throughout my life, but... I thought that's all it was.
Yeah, once a year in the newspapers, I would see a thing on the Flat Earth Society, but that was about it. That was 50 years ago. When I'm seeing this stuff, and then now it's everywhere.
But if you think about it,
platforms.
How many percentage of the population, of the entire world's population, actually really for sure thinks the earth is flat? Honestly,
I don't want to know.
I mean, there are Australian flat earthers. There are South African flat earthers, guys.
I'm gonna go with too many.
Yes.
Yeah,
what about Flatzoid? Anybody knows Flatzoid?
I've heard of them. I haven't watched any of their stuff.
Flatzoid is a South African flat earther who removed 13 or 15 frames from Red's Rhetoric's rocket launch video, and then said the thing is not bouncing into the water behind the curve. It's if you go and look on Red's channel, you will find that video. Flatzoid.
For the love of St. Gulick, this guy's got 1,600 subscribers.
Yes. And for a liar. He's a liar and he's got 1,500 subscribers. I make my own observations and I have just hit 170 subscribers. I'll be like Arwen now. What? I don't have a fucking 1,000 subscribers? Anybody knows Arwen? Erwin, what's his name?
Oh,
he had a
Owen Telltale?
No, not Owen. No, man. No, I can't say anything bad about Telltale.
Telltale's a cutie.
Yes. No, this guy, his name is Arwen, or Arwen. I think his name is Arwen. And he's like a little crazy person. And he had a rant about how he's so into flat earth and he's doing all these things for flat earth and he doesn't have 1,000 subscribers. What must I do to get 1,000 subscribers?
Yeah. Well, it's something my fiance and I discussed a lot, that we would have a lot more money if we had less ethics. And I keep coming back to that on YouTube, that, 3.5 years and I still haven't hit 500 subscribers.
Yeah,
and I feel that, if I had started a Woo channel, I could be selling bottles of colored water for $100 each.
Yeah, when I look at your subscriber count, Purple, I'm very heart sore about it because you deserve a hell of a lot more subscribers, a hell of a lot more views,
But
because your
honestly,
platform is so nice.
I really don't care. I'm just here for people to get together and discuss whatever's on their mind. I can't complain about my subscriber count because I've put so very little effort into it. I mean, if I was putting out edited videos every week, yeah, that would be a different story. But yeah, I've put out something like a dozen edited videos over 3 years. So,
Oh, well, I'm very happy that you allowed me in. I went to listen, have a re-listen to how I sounded the other day on your show. And I was so loud. Why didn't you tell me? So, pipe it down a little bit, Sal. You're too loud.
actually, I didn't really think there was a problem because if it came to it, StreamYards now has given me the ability that I could, adjust your volume from here if I had thought it was a problem.
Yeah. I kind of screech when I'm really excited or really angry and things like that. So
yeah, but
I love
I'm not going to tone that down. If you're talking about something you're emotional about, I want that to come through.
Okay, let me tell you this emotional story then. Last year in May, I planted 2 Avo seeds. Well, I put them in the water so they can get their roots and their little stem. And on the 1st of September last year, I planted one in a pot. And this year in May, I planted the other one in another pot. So they're both growing differently. They were actually the same looking seeds. And now the one I planted in September has 2 new branches. Okay, like it's first, from the first stalk, and then 2 new branches. So I'm very happy about that.
I see Jen saying that you found Perp through me, and you found me through SciStrike. I found a lot of people through Jeff. That was a source of many contacts for me.
For me,
well,
it
I know
was
quite
the
a few
Shills.
people found my channel through Jeff, and and then also through the Shills.
Yeah, for me it was the Shills. But Casual Spaceman did a little mirror of my channel, like about a year and a half ago. He gave my channel some exposure, and after he did that, I hit like 80s subscribers. And then I think these last couple of weeks, with me making myself known on the Shills and on Purple's channel, and I was on Modern Day Debate stage debate, the stage debates, and I'm getting my name out there. So my subscriber count is picking up.
Well, unless you're good at constantly pumping yourself on social media, the best way to pick up subscribers is by doing cross-channel collaborations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, look, my door is always open to the other content creators, and there were a couple. I won't name them. If they ever listen, they'll know who they are. They wanted to work with me because I am in an optimum spot here in South Africa, between South America and Australia.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we were supposed to make an observation in June. And that was a running thing for about 3 months. I heard that, we're going to do this observation in June for the winter solstice. And it just never materialized. So I am going to try and work with Loki Fish Mars and Dazza the cameraman, as soon as we can schedule something, because we want to see the moon from you guys in America to me in South Africa to the person in Australia. Like live stream it over a 24-hour period and watch the moon doing its thing.
Yeah, that would be great and I would help, but I know nothing about photography.
Oh, it's nothing, Purple. It's nothing. You point your camera and you obviously connect it to your live stream, and you make your, you point it and you focus it and all of that, and then you just let it play. You let the moon do its thing.
I could not leave a camera outside for any period of time without expecting it to be disturbed. And winter solstice where I live, the temperature is likely to be about 30 below Celsius or 30 below
Oh, my
Fahrenheit.
darling, no, June. It would have been midsummer for you.
Oh, okay. Winter
Yeah, I
solstice
mean, not
for you,
midsummer,
yeah.
the start. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anybody listening, knows anybody who wants to make this observation with us, try and get a hold of us. My Discord link is in the description of my videos. Get a hold of us. Let's see what we can do to have something like this, because it's needed. Flat earthers don't know what's happening. They don't understand what's happening.
Yeah, and that seems to be a big thing they don't get is, how these seasons are reversed depending which side of the equator you're on.
One of the things they don't understand, well, I'm trying to badger them at this point, because they tell us that the sun goes away at sunset, but they don't tell us how the sun gets back to the opposite horizon to rise again. And that is a sticking point for me. And I tell them, once you can explain that one to me, then maybe I can come over to your side. You can convince me to be a flat earther. But as things stand now, with my more than 600 sunset observations, filmed sunset observations, I can't take them seriously.
See, and again, this is the kind of thing that I've thought of, creating just a channel just to troll these people, because I can come up with explanations for all these things. I mean, they're total bullshit, but I can come up with something that the reason you don't see it is that when the sun sets on the one side, it's a flat disk. So when it flips over, you're seeing the dark side and you don't see it move back to the other side again.
Oh, God. The disk flips now, not the sun. Oh, God.
No, the sun is also a disk. And when you're seeing the back side of the sun, it doesn't show
my
any
God,
light.
the sun is also a disk.
Yeah.
Oh, so the earth is a disk and the sun is a disk.
Well, of course. I mean, it would make sense that they're all the same, right? So
you guys are going to make my
this is
brain...
what I mean. I can come up with ad hoc explanations off the cuff.
Yeah, but you will help make my brain ooze out of my ears.
Yeah, but I've thought of creating a parody channel just to troll this shit.
I was listening to Steaming Cup of Reason yesterday, and he had Cheesemondo on, and apparently they want to start the Church of the Bigfoot or something. So they even have like the first page of what they would call a Bible. And it's very funny if they could actually get it going and get some members on their online church. It would be very funny.
Moo.
Well, okay.
I went to many churches.
One of the things that led me to being an atheist was, as a teenager, I was just fascinated by cryptids, especially like the Loch Ness Monster and lake monsters in general. And there are like 50 lakes across North America that claim to have their own lake monsters.
Oh.
But like I realized at some point that I had 22 books about the Loch Ness Monster. And at some point I realized that all of these 22 books were based on the same three experiences, the same three reports. So it's like what looked like a huge wealth of information was just everybody retelling the same three stories, and there wasn't any new information there.
And how long did it take you to realize this?
From when I started collecting, from when I did a term paper in high school until I realized this was about 8 years.
Wow. Okay. Wow. I was almost in a cult once. It was Okay, it was my friend. She had had an experience where she had gone to the bank and drawn a large amount of money, and there were people who followed her home, held my family gunpoint, and stole the money. So at that point, it was like the last straw. So she said, "Fuck all of this. I'm just gonna become a wizard," and it's a girl, right? So she started reading all these esoteric books, crystals, and pendulums and incantations and all sorts of things. She even had a Ouija board.
Hmm.
And look, I went through the motions with her, to see what was happening. And I love a fire, so a fire was part of the thing. So I'd make the fire and sit by the fire and all of that. And one morning, she woke up to tell us that no, 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 God is not a prisoner. She is God. So I packed up my family and I ran for our lives. If she didn't do that, I would probably have still been there. And this was in 2014.
I went through a similar conversion that between being Christian and becoming atheist, I spent 25 years in the pagan community. So I explored the thing all about, crystal healing and, sonic vibrations and basically you just, all sorts of different pagan beliefs. Just because I was sure that there had to be something out there, I just didn't know what. And it was only
Yes.
until after 25 years that I couldn't get repeatable results with anything that I had to conclude that, yeah, no one had anything but a collection of stories.
Well, there definitely is something out there, and I believe it's a cheese sandwich.
Oh, I love cheese,
Okay,
especially
Only
cheddar,
if it's grilled cheese.
roasted. Yes,
Yep.
definitely.
Mhm.
it has
Talking.
to be either sharp cheddar or Swiss. If it's that bullshit Kraft singles, I'm just not having anything of it.
Oh no, I
Right.
hate processed cheese. And last night I made a beautiful cheese and bacon bake. So,
Ooh, it sounds tasty.
and it was too, damn it. And I wish I could. Although I'm a big girl, they call my size girls big girls. I don't have that appetite, so I get upset because for a girl my size, I should eat a lot more, you know? And I get, because I get up, I don't eat enough for my size person, so I get upset.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I got a lot of that because until I was in my 40s, I never weighed over about 140 pounds, which I'm not good
It's
with the
about what?
metric conversion on that,
No,
but
65, 70 kilos.
yeah, but that I was regularly dating women who were twice my size. And like when we went to like all you can eat places, I was eating twice what they did. And
That is funny.
it wasn't until one of our daughters was doing a nutritional study for school that they gave all of us pedometers and wanted all of us to like log our activity and our food intakes, for her to do the study. That I actually found out that with the level of my activity, I was walking like 6 miles a day, plus doing all sorts of physical activity of, carrying 30 or 40 pounds of tools around all the time. That I actually had to take in twice what was considered the normal USDA requirement of calories just to maintain my weight.
Wow. Okay. Well, the exact opposite is applicable to me because even in my homeless days, and I was, like hungry and stuff, and I walked so much, and so much stress. I never lost any weight. I only actually started losing weight when I started smoking marijuana in 2000.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Usually it works the other way.
Well,
You
there's
know, they smoke
obviously a lot
marijuana and they
more.
eat like crazy.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, I'm
obviously a
like
lot
the
more
opposite
to
of
it than
fucking
what they would
everything.
think by those height and weight charts, because it's just, the math does not add up.
And then in
Oh man.
2014, I lost 40 kilos in 3 months, and my body did not like it at all.
Wow.
My body was fucked. I couldn't even stand. I'd just pass out. Because, I've been a big girl my whole life, and losing that amount of weight in that amount of time, my body couldn't handle it. I thought I was dying. That's how bad it was. But now I'm
I
all
have to
better.
see.
I'm back to my big self.
Here we go. Well, I lost 31 kilos, but it took me 2 years.
Wow. That's a good amount of time to lose that amount of weight, actually.
Yeah.
It's for health reasons.
Yeah. It scared me when I discovered that I weighed 108 kilos, and I figured, okay, that's why I'm not feeling exactly the way I should be feeling. So right now I get weighed every other day because I'm in dialysis, and then part of the treatment is weighing you on the way in and weighing you on the way out. I just weighed in at 79 kilos this morning, so that wasn't too bad.
That's not bad at all. I would love to be 79, 80, but my body just doesn't like it, can't handle it because I've been this way, since I was like 8 years old. My body just can't do it. I don't think I'll be, I mean, I would absolutely love to be able to do it. And I've tried a lot of things. I used to get up every morning and do the 15, 20-minute exercises. When my kids are here on December holidays, I make them jog with me around this place. I tried it all, and it just doesn't work. And I don't even eat as much. That makes me angry because I should be, a big eater and be fat. So I can't just be fat and not be a big eater. It's very annoying. Yeah, I know I laugh a lot of these things, but that's my way to cope with it. Just find the humor in it and just live my life.
Oh, it's actually something that I've thought about for several of my partners over my life, that these height weight charts, that they keep saying that people that are above a certain weight are supposed to have all these health concerns. And I've lived with 3 women who were what they considered to be obese, and none of them had all the health concerns that they said were supposed to come with it.
Yes.
So I would like to see an actual scientific study where they include a group of people who are what they consider to be obese, but who are okay with their weight, so that they don't try to keep dieting all the time. Because I think it is not the weight, but it is the yo-yo dieting that is doing all the damage. That they
Yes.
lose 20 pounds, they gain 30 pounds, and they do that over and over throughout the years.
Yeah, and that damages the insides of the body also.
Yep.
Never mind the psyche, what it does to the person's psyche.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm just saying, just all the physical conditions they say they're supposed to have. And to the best of my knowledge, no one has ever conducted that sort of study, which to me shows either a bias or just a total, lack of investigation into it.
They just don't care. Can I tell you this story quickly? I've been a smoker for the past 30 years, right? And cigarettes. And my hubby met a guy the other day, old man, probably in his late 70s, who survived COVID, right? And apparently, he's been a smoker his whole life. So the doctor told him that the only reason the COVID couldn't ravage his lungs was because his lungs were already ravaged by smoking.
That's interesting.
I was surprised, and I'm thinking maybe that's why, I haven't gotten it yet, and it's been like a year and 10 months already since it's been around. This is the only shop in this area that hasn't been closed due to COVID.
I'm going to tell you, I honestly have heard that a couple other places.
Really? You tell.
I don't know. I don't remember where. But I just didn't put much stock in it because I was like, whatever, there's all kinds of shit running around the internet. Yeah, you should Google that, though. I'm pretty sure you can find more information on that somewhere. I've seen that in a couple of places.
I'll just leave it on the back burner. I don't want to. I mean, if that's what the guy said, the doctor told him, that's
Right.
why he survived, because his lungs weren't healthy to be ravaged by the virus. The virus didn't have, it probably had tar to work with instead of, the raw flesh of your lungs.
Right. I was just thinking that same thing. Yep.
So the worst thing I did was quit smoking. Damn it.
Bad timing, Diana. Bad timing.
Oh, man.
I feel like I got COVID right around the 3 months before they announced it. I'm pretty sure I got it because I get weirdly ill like I've never been before. But there was nothing up with my lungs. I just had some head congestion. And I had the full body aches and weakness and fatigue, and I just felt like shit. Oh, and diarrhea.
That must have been terrible.
Well, and it was certainly going in several countries in Europe months before they ever mentioned it in the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
So it's entirely possible that if you had contact with someone who had traveled to Europe, you could have picked it up.
Luckily, at the time, I didn't know anybody, so I was always by myself in my house. And I wasn't working yet because I had just moved here. So
well, when they first locked down...
Yeah, it could have just been somebody that you walked by in the grocery store or something that, happened to cough in your direction.
Oh, it's hard to tell. Yeah, absolutely.
There was that meme that was going around that it was more like a GIF where the person, rocked up to a group of people and she sneezed and somebody pulled out a gun and shot her. That was just after. That was just after the
COVID mask on these days.
Well, okay. Yeah. I don't have a citation for this, so I'm not sure of the original source. But somebody was telling me about a person who actually got charged with manslaughter for coughing at a guard on a military base because they thought they might already have COVID.
Yep.
Wow. Well, there are those stories where nurses inject patients with HIV.
Oh my God.
That's bad.
I know.
Yeah, look, we got to be careful, but then we got to just live our lives,
There was a confirmed case of a Red Cross nurse in Germany. I think she was an American who was working with the Red Cross in Germany, giving COVID vaccinations, and that she gave over 8,000 vaccinations that were not actually the COVID shot, but was just injecting people with saline.
That one, yeah.
And that has been confirmed.
There's also a pharmacist that destroyed thousands of vaccines.
Actually, it was a pharmacist in Ohio.
Yes.
Who had left 500 doses of vaccines out of the refrigerator, so that
I heard
they would
about
be
that.
rendered worthless, and was still injecting people with them.
But why? What kind of maliciousness has to be in your brain to do that to a person? You're a person, they're a person.
because in the US it became a political issue and people were denying that it was actually a health concern.
I think politicians should be done away with. There must be like representatives here and there, to convey to the actual government what the people want. But it mustn't be like the title of politician, because something happens to a politician once they become a politician.
Well, the problem is that they're supposed to be representatives, but because of the way the systems to get elected are constructed, that you need a lot of money to run for office. So the average man can't do it. You have to be wealthy to start with just to get into office.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be about the people, what is the majority? The people are the majority. So we should get to decide. I mean, I'm sure us normal folk, living the normal life, whatever is considered normal, we have a million better ideas than the people actually in office, I mean, there are actual beatdowns in some parliaments. Yeah, I mean, we have municipal elections coming up on the 1st of November. And so the ANC is the majority party here. They have the majority support, and they're the majority in government and all of that. And one of the lower party leaders went to their rally to physically start a fight. Yet, at the same time, when those parties, obviously different people were here, trying to get the people to register to vote, they were communicating with each other in a friendly manner. They were on their side, these guys were on this side, but they were talking to each other like how normal people talk to each other. But then the leader of the party goes there and causes a fight.
Well,
physical fight.
Okay, these things are not anything new. In 1856.
Yeah, but it's terrible.
Well, in 1856, there was an episode in the U.S. Congress where one congressman beat another with his walking stick because they were arguing about slavery.
I'm sorry, but how? But back then they were supposed to be gentlemen. Aren't you supposed to whack the oak in the face with the glove and say duel or something?
Well,
meet me at noon outside the saloon.
Yeah. So, this has been going on as long as we have had established governments, basically.
I know I'm laughing. I know, but I mean, come on, adults, right? You're trying to resolve the fucking issue of slavery, and then you pick out your cane and you wax. I'm sorry. Let me pull myself towards myself.
No, and that's, people don't understand. You laugh because you hear something that you don't know how to respond to. There is no appropriate response, so you laugh.
I laugh because I don't think I would, behave like that, especially when you are trying to resolve a very serious issue. How are you going to get somebody to take you seriously? Like in my parliament a few years ago, we were having the State of the Nation address. And this exact guy I told you about who went to look for the fight, his members were throwing water bottles, bottled water, I should say. Water bottles, bottled water. The bottles were full of water, okay?
Yeah, I get
throwing
you.
it at other members in parliament with the cameras on them.
Oh my God.
And the ironic thing is the issue was gender-based violence. We want to stop violence against women and children, and then these guys throw water bottles at women.
That's lovely.
So how do I react in a situation like that? I could get angry and cry and whatever, but there's nothing we can do about it. That's their behavior. That's their mentality.
It's pretty sad.
I know. I'm sorry to laugh.
No,
But
I'm
I
not.
kind of.
You laugh all you want. It's just sad that people
Yeah.
even are so fucked up that they think
Yeah.
like that.
Like I say, you wind up laughing because there is no appropriate response.
Yeah, especially when you're dealing with the whole population. You've got, my country has about 60 million people, and we all need to be represented. And, each community has their own needs, but nothing ever gets done. And I can't do anything about it. I will not even be let into parliament. In fact, which party do I go to join? Because there's like 500 of them in my country.
Wow.
We have the opposite in the problem in the U.S. that we only have two parties, so we have the choice between right or extreme right.
Yes, or the lesser of two evils, or
Yeah.
better the devil you know than the devil you don't know.
Yeah, pretty much all my
Yep.
life it's been voting for the lesser of two evils. I think that there have been maybe two candidates that I have truly felt would help something.
I think normal people, like people, I know that you say that it's so difficult because of the whole politics revolves around money thing.
Yep.
But if you can get a good rich guy, I don't know if they exist, like a rich guy who's willing to back a good, a really, truly good person, that
No,
can be
all of
nice.
us good guys are poor.
Yeah, but if you could get a good rich guy to back you, like Ross Perot, if you could get Ross Perot to back you, as an independent candidate, you can make some sort of headway and, break that monopoly. I know that you guys
Well,
have independence and libertarian or something like that. And yeah.
I have a plan, but I know it would never happen in the U.S. That when somebody is elected to office, they should have to buy an existing home in the district they represent and live on the median income of their own district. And all of
Not
their
fucking
assets
rock up
should be,
there
yeah, all of
in
their
their black
assets should be put into
SUV.
holding while they're in office.
That is such a
Yes.
brilliant fucking idea. My idea is a little bit worse than yours because they are public servants, Yeah. But here, just a ward councillor gets 50 grand a month.
A month. Wow.
A ward councillor
Jeez.
gets 50 grand. My money, so it's about it's 15 rand to the dollar. So you divide 50 by 15, so it's about $3,500 a month, somewhere around
Still
there.
more
I would
than
be
ever
very
than I've
comfortable
ever
on
made.
that.
Yeah.
It's way more than I make.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's basically I don't even know who the ward councillor is for the area I'm living in. And I live in Ward 99. So I don't know who the ward councillor is. But in my country, they kill political opposition. In the last month, 3 different political figures were murdered. And from the looks of it, and I hate to say this out loud, but it looks like they are killing their own. It's not like
Sounds like a
one
Democrat.
political party killing somebody of another political party. It's this
So it's
party
people
killing
within
people.
the party who are feeling it's people who don't support all their positions.
And the last guy that was gunned down, they literally gunned him down. He was not even a month the mayor of the city I live in. He was not even a month. And apparently they killed him because he was doing his job. He was making the party look bad by doing his job.
Yeah, we can't have anybody acting competent. They'll make the rest of us look bad.
Yeah, that's the mentality, because things have been going on for 30 years now, and this fucking new oak comes along and thinks he can do, what the people want. Who the hell is he to do what the people want? So, yeah, that's the thing we are living in now. So I just keep to myself. because I'm one person. I won't be able to affect any change, and when I speak to the people around me, the things don't seem to bother them as much as it bothers me. So I just leave it.
Purple, I'm gonna take this pause. I'm gonna duck out. I'm pooped. I'm going to bed. But thank you all for the amazing conversation. I really appreciate you guys and your brains. And
Well, great to see you twice today, B.
Yeah, right. I know that doesn't usually happen.
Well, rest well, friend.
Yes, all of you as well.
Sleep
Night, everybody.
nice.
See you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Yeah, see you. Come on by tomorrow, B.
Oh, yeah, and Sal, if you could try to connect with me on Twitter. That Twitter won't let me DM you, and Discord is just being a pain in the ass and not letting me do anything tonight. So I don't know why.
No problem. I'll send you another message.
Yeah, it's just Discord
what I'll do. I think
is
I'm
refusing
following
to
you
communicate with my ISP apparently.
Oh, all right. I'll find you. Are you anywhere on? Are you on the Shills list on Discord?
Yeah, I should be in the Shills there. So
I'll just go and click on your icon and send you a DM on my from my Discord. I think that would be the easiest way.
Okay.
So you can have a direct DM with me on my server.
Yeah, I will try shutting it down and logging back in and see if that helps any, but I had already done that before and it wasn't behaving any better, so I don't know what's going on.
So, Purple, let me say that I'm so happy that you want to be my friend. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I'm very
I've been,
happy.
Watching and commenting on your stuff for I don't know how long, but
Yes, I'm very happy. Sorry, just to let you know, I've been good friends with my pet now for quite some time. I would say a good 7-8 months, and yeah, now I've got a friend on either side of my oceans.
Yep. Well, I'm trying to connect with a researcher in Antarctica so that I can achieve my goal of saying that I've got a friend on every continent.
Oh, that's a good idea. I should try that also. Can I steal your idea?
Antarctica is the only one I am missing at this point.
And to think that South Africa actually has a research ship that lives at Antarctica 6 months a year.
Oh, maybe you can connect me with someone.
I will try and see if I can find out some information and get back to you on that one.
Yeah, the penguins aren't answering
remember,
my friend request.
Their guns are keeping their flippers busy.
Well, I don't know. It may have something to do with the embarrassment about the, adoption thing, because I've got a tuxedo kitty and he claims that his father was a penguin.
Oh, God. So there's family problems prior to start. Yeah, no, that's fun. Yeah, look, we'll try. Oh, did you try the Flat Earth Finder? Try the Flat Earth Friend Finder. Apparently, it's an app. And Wally did a video on an Australian flat earther. I think it was Mitchell. And Mitchell found a friend in Antarctica.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, the Flat Earth Friend Finder was talked about on the Shills the other week, but no, it wasn't something that I'd really looked up.
Yeah, look, apparently you got to pay for some features, but I think give it a shot. If you can find a friend in Antarctica, why not? It's an avenue of information, man. Sorry?
It might be a route to connect to someone there, yeah.
Yeah, why not? If not, why not? They use all our resources. I was on the modern day debate having a little discussion yesterday morning, and I did get to chat with a flat earther. And his idea is that perspective stops you from viewing anything else past the convergence point. I was quite surprised that he said that to my face. Well, to my icon. Because you still do see other things, right? You know, you see things, you see trees beyond the convergence point.
Yeah, well, the railroad tracks are a compelling issue about the convergence points.
I know, they keep bringing it up, but when you see the train tracks make that point in the distance,
yeah,
it doesn't stop you from seeing all the other things around it. And that's my point. You're still seeing things.
Yeah.
And why do they want to ignore all the other things that we are seeing is my point. I haven't gotten an answer. Perspective, man. What? Fluff-spective.
Yeah, they keep coming up with things that explain like one answer, but they can't come up with a coherent model that explains more than one thing at a time.
Yeah, I actually heard them say they've got hundreds of models with probably like only one thing on each model.
Yeah.
Well, I don't, if all this information is available to us, I mean, you hear the story. Oh, I've been a flat earther for 3 years. I was always a globe head. And how do you become a flat earther? By researching the globe. Now, what I want to know is how come that didn't happen to me? Why aren't I a flat earther when I've done the research? Or am I being too arrogant?
No. No, and they were saying that in the Shills earlier tonight that there were some people they could believe because they'd only been doing it for like a year and a half, but that it got really hard to believe of the people who had been doing it 2-3 years and were still at it.
Yeah, some people 5, 6, 7 years. I think if you go on YouTube and search Red's Rhetoric's channel, he's been doing it for like 6, 7 years. Mortimer, I think, has been doing it longer. Aaron Ra has been on like 12 years.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, bullshit. The people who are claiming to believe it that have been at it for several years. And, it's that, they're probably they found a way to get money from people more gullible than they are.
That one really bugs me, Purple. Doing it for the money, lying for Jesus. Why? I mean, I also want money. Please don't get me wrong. I want money. But I'm not going to sacrifice my own dignity and, self-respect to do something that's going to make me inevitably later regret it. Yeah, I'll have the money, but will I have my dignity? Maybe for some people, dignity doesn't matter. I don't know.
Well, and that's what I said earlier, that I know I'd have a lot more money if I didn't have so much ethics. It would be easy to get money if I didn't care who I was screwing in the process.
Okay, right. That's commendable. But then there are people out there who are actually making money out of the people they are saying are bad. You tell the Christian, like preachers tell the Christian, oh, if you don't give money to the church, then you're a bad person. God wants you to give money to the church. My question is, what the hell does God need the money for? Why don't you just be straight up and say, give the church the money? Don't tell me I'm giving it to God, because that's a flat out lie.
Yep.
Sorry.
Oh no,
Yeah,
no,
no,
and
I'm
that's African humanist. That's basically what her whole channel is. Is she keeps putting up videos of these bizarre things that are going on in the churches there, and it's
very
like,
bizarre.
yeah, I don't understand how they can be selling this to anyone, but people are attending the services, so they're somehow getting people to believe it. And in the US we've got these mega churches that are, raking in millions of dollars a month.
And not doing anything for the poor with it. That's
Yeah.
my contention, because Jesus said, look after the poor and the widows and the orphans.
Yeah, well, Jesus was a filthy hippie socialist.
Yeah, because he wanted to help everybody.
Yeah, he was exactly the guys that the Republican Party here would hate. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't get it, because
on
I
top of
want a
that,
God,
Yep.
I want a God who would make me feel worthy of this life and uplift me instead of trying to, push me, like hold me down while taking everything they can from me.
Yeah.
Because religion takes everything from you and gives nothing back. The only time you may or may not see what you were working towards is after you die. Or am I, see, I mean, I would appreciate a different view, but I don't know. This is the way I see it.
Yeah,
I was a
no.
Christian for over 20 years, I was a Hindu for another 20 years before that.
Thanks, Jin. I don't think I would get quite up to that level, but Jinzu says I could see Perp giving Kenneth Copeland a run for the money.
Oh, he's a piece of work.
Yeah, look.
Yeah. Why does
they were
God need a
doing,
spaceship and money?
yeah, why does God need money?
Yep.
I saw a little video of the Jehovah's Witnesses saying that Paul wrote that, oh, God loves a cheerful giver. Why? What are you doing with the money? Because I'm still seeing poor people. I'm still seeing hungry people. I'm still seeing homeless people.
Yeah.
So what are you doing building these mega churches? Because I can quote the Bible also and say, Jesus said, where there are 2 or 3 gathered, I am there amongst you. So why do you need these mega churches and these billions of dollars?
Well, what I like is the joke about the clerics who were discussing how they what they do with the money that they get on their Sabbath days, and the Catholic says one thing and the Protestant says another thing, and the rabbi says, "Okay, what I do is I get all the money together, I throw it up in the air, and what God wants, He'll keep for Himself."
Oh, that is
Yeah.
awesome.
I
That
like
is
that
awesome.
one.
Yeah, I also like that. I like things like that.
Yep.
My hubby was also a
if God
Christian.
is all powerful and if God made this planet and can change the laws of physics and all this, then why do we have famine when He could easily turn the deserts into fruit orchards?
Yep.
And my question goes even deeper than that, because why did everything just stop 4,400 years ago after the worldwide flood? What?
Yeah.
What happened? Why did everything just stop? There's no indication of anything. Even they say it never rained before the flood. The volcano started erupting, at the time of the flood. Mountains rose and valleys, fell and all of that. Everything, all the sedimentary layers were laid down in the worldwide global flood. And then everything just stopped. Now we got to live at least 100 years to see, the continents shift just a little bit. But those people were seeing as they were dying, obviously, sorry, seeing the mountains rise and the valleys fall and things like that. And the dinosaurs. The people were with the dinosaurs. Don't forget that.
I want a dinosaur, but unfortunately, Sylvia would probably eat the dinosaur.
Well,
I wanted to get a parakeet.
Oh, were you going to get a chicken or something? Oh, a
Yeah, I
parakeet.
wanted to get a
thought it's
parakeet,
chicken.
but unfortunately, my kitty would probably attack it.
Oh,
it's
is
one
your
of the
cat?
things I don't understand about the young Earth creationists. I guess Ken Ham put the dinosaurs in his Ark exhibit because he knows dinosaurs attract kids. But wouldn't it have made his whole pitch a fuck of a lot easier if he had just said all the dinosaurs got killed in the flood and none of them got on the Ark? Rather than
I
saying
think
that they
so.
brought dinosaurs on the Ark and they went extinct shortly after getting off.
Yeah, because that latter makes no sense.
And also, it was kinds. It wasn't like,
What the hell is a
species.
kind?
I don't know. We are still waiting for an action. They move the goalpost every time they want to, just throw in the word kind. And
Yeah.
if anybody wants to learn, about evolution, Aaron Ra is the best person. He's literally got 50 videos with the classifications of all the animals that we found out about.
I
And
love
it's
that
brain
series. Oh
draining.
God, I do.
Well,
Yes, but
and
it's
also Aaron Rod's 8-part series on why the flood never happened, that each
Yeah.
part addresses it from a different field of science.
Yes, I did watch that one, and it actually blows your mind how many as a human being, we only get what, 70, 80, 90, 100 years on this earth. We can't really see the shift. And when you look at it the way he presents it, you think, if God was really this kind, loving God, he'd give us more time to actually observe these things and, see for ourselves what's happening. But no, we just get 70 years. Not enough time on the massive time scale to notice something.
I mean, why did Noah literally get 100 years, 100 times as much as anyone today gets?
Yes. What's the difference between back then and now? Because apparently we are supposed to be the second chance. God flooded the earth and saved one family. And we are supposed to be having a better time of everything. But like 90% of the world's population are, living on, below, or just above a poverty line, of the country's standards. Yeah, no, look, I'm a very spiritual person, but I can't reconcile myself to a Christian God. And there are 40,000 denominations. Why is that?
Yeah. Well, and that's they argue a lot that atheists can't prove God doesn't exist.
That's not the point.
Well, no, and I will even give them that. I will not say that no gods exist, but I will say the God of the Bible cannot exist because he is self-contradictory.
I've been saying that for a while, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy that you mentioned that because, as I said, I was a Christian for 20 years, just over 20 years. And the things I am learning about the Bible now, no one ever, brought it up. I didn't know that it was constructed by some people. They decided what they're going to keep and what they're going to let go. And there are other books out there that are not in the Bible. I didn't know this when I was a Christian. And as time passes now, I'm always flabbergasted at how much I didn't know when I was a Christian. And so much contradiction. Which verse do you take? You have one issue and you got opposing, opinions in the same text. So which one do you take to help you in your situation? No, it's bad. And Christians don't seem to mind.
Well, and it was one of the things that I was born in the Catholic Church, but even as a child, I started noticing things that seemed odd to me. Like if Jesus had 12 disciples, why did we only have 4 gospels? Why didn't we hear about 2/3 of the people who were closest to him?
Wow, that is such a good question. Oh, but remember, one was the traitor. But if God plans everything, even Judas's role in the whole, story was planned, preordained, if you could
Yeah.
say.
Well, there was the gospel where Judas was the good guy, right?
I'd heard about that. I'm not sure which one that was from.
The gospel. I believe it's the gospel according to Judas. Wait a minute. It's the one Bart Ehrman looked at recently.
Oh, now I have to go find that one.
I have to look up the name.
I got kicked out of the children's Bible study when I was 8 or 9. The priest pulled my mother aside and asked her to stop sending me because I kept asking questions that were making the nuns uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is
And
called
they
the
don't
gospel
like
of
that.
Judas.
Yeah, and what happened there? Was he the good guy?
Yeah.
So who was the traitor then?
Yeah, it was that he betrayed Jesus because that was all part of Jesus' plan.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the Gnostic Gospels.
Yeah, somewhere around here I have a copy of the Gospel of Thomas, which tells about when Jesus was a child and he killed one of his friends and brought him back from the dead.
Oh, yeah. And then the other one I like is, I think it's part of the Gospel of Thomas, where Jesus says if God wanted men to be circumcised, they would have been born that way.
And
yeah,
yes,
that was another question I always had. Was
me
that
too?
Yeah, if we were God's ultimate creation, why did the doctors have to fix something after we were born?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a big problem with Paul. I don't know if anybody else, nobody else seems to have my problems with Paul, but Paul seems to teach everything opposite to Jesus. Jesus said, no, if God wanted you to be circumcised, you would be born that way. Paul said you must be circumcised. Jesus allowed the woman, to be around him and wash his feet and do that kind of thing. Paul said the woman must be quiet. They weren't allowed to they were supposed to be submissive and all of that. Paul Paul is not good for Christianity at all. He's the reason we have the kind of Christians we have today. That arrogant, I know it all, and you are just, sinning in unrighteousness and all of that. It's because of Paul.
Well, the easiest way to deal with most of the discrepancies between Paul and Jesus is that Paul was straight and couldn't deal with the temptations of women around him, and Jesus was gay.
Holy fuck. Okay. Am I supposed to laugh at this one? Is it appropriate to laugh?
No, just go back and read the gospel and see if it fits.
Oh God. Well, there is that one where that person came, that father came and said, my son is dead. And Jesus, rubbed him, lay on him and rubbed him and spit in his eyes, or I don't know what all else.
Yeah.
And then he came to life. So.
Well, and there's another passage, I'm not sure which gospel it was from, about, when the soldiers came for Jesus in the garden, that, they ran and a young boy ran because he was naked.
Yes. I remember. I can't tell you which.
Yeah, how does that fit with anything else?
It's all just people. It's people's stories. I mean, you got to think about it, right? Paul wrote his letters
Yeah.
first before the actual gospels were written down.
Mhm.
So they probably saw that, oh, Paul's writing to the churches. Let us also write down the gospels. And, the gospels are even different from each other. The Matthew, Mark, and Luke has Jesus carrying his own cross, and Matthew, Mark, and Luke has Simon helping him carry the cross, and in John he's carrying his own cross.
Well,
Lots
yeah,
and lots.
and the thing is that the oldest of the Gospels was written at least 40 years after Jesus was executed.
Yes, and
Closer
I
to
found out
70,
something.
but yeah.
Which in itself
Yeah.
is a long time for stories to be handed down word of mouth, but also considering that time that it was really unusual for anyone to have lived to be 40 years old. So we're actually talking that this was 2 or 3 generations later.
And it's even funnier when you listen to the apologists and they're talking about writings from 300, 400, 500 years later, and we just talking about 40 years. I think about how much my life changed in 40 years.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
up until like the 1700s, it was rare for anyone to live much past 40.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they didn't have access to like clean water the way we do, sanitation and hygiene and, personal hygiene and things
Yeah,
like that.
they didn't understand basic things like washing your hands to not spread disease.
Well, Jesus did say you don't have to wash your hands before you eat.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. It's not that I don't want to believe in a God. It's just the Christian God is very unconvincing.
Yeah, it's like if you really give the story some thought, they don't fit together. And, it's actually funny how many people will still hold to being Christian, but at the same time, they will like rip all the plot holes out of the Marvel Cinematic movies. It's like, why don't you apply the same level of skepticism to the Bible that you do to Star Trek or superheroes?
Also, yeah, it's very bad. And also, I found out recently that, like in the Old Testament, it's Genesis, I don't know, Exodus, the first, all those books, and Job was the first book written.
Yeah.
So if it was the first written book, why is Genesis written? Why does Genesis appear first?
Oh, because it describes the origin of everything.
Well, and the other weird thing is that, if you believe the young Earth creationist thing about the Earth being like 6,000 years old, then the book of Genesis covers more than half of that total time.
Yeah.
The first book of the Bible covers half of that, and the other 65 books cover what happened in the next couple hundred years since then. And then in the 2,000 years after that, we have nothing.
Yes. And Christians can't explain this. What I have learned is that most Christians don't even know the origins of the texts that were, put into the book we call the Bible. I was quite upset that the Matthew was not written by the actual Matthew who was Jesus's. Did Jesus even have a Matthew as an apostle? And these things were verbally passed on from generation to generation. And when they wrote it down, they put the title of Matthew on it. Now, I didn't know this when my child was born. And I named my child Matthew.
Yeah.
Thinking that he, the actual Matthew, had contact with supposedly the Son of God and wrote these things down. So he is worthy of giving my child that name. And when I found out, I was livid.
Yeah, most of my nieces and nephews have biblical names, including a Matthew in there. And it's like, that, they Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, these are all very European names. There is no way anyone living in the Middle East at the time these were written would have had those names.
Calling them Andrew and Simon and Peter and Thomas.
Yeah.
Well,
this was another one of the things that made me question the Bible a lot growing up. Because where I was born was a community that was 85% Jewish. So even when I tried to talk about the Bible, 4 out of 5 people I was talking to had read it in Hebrew and were pointing out all the translation errors.
That is fun. I'm sorry, because that's nice. You got the actual person who can tell you, hey, that word translated into that language is wrong.
Yeah, again, it made it really hard to buy the line about it being God's inerrant word.
Yeah.
Because if this was God's inerrant word, why would he have allowed there to be errors in translation? Shouldn't it say the same thing regardless of what language you read it in?
And stand the test of time, yes. There's a guy called Lloyd Evans, and he's an ex-JW, and he's got his channel. And that's where I learned a lot of the things, from him about the Jehovah's Witnesses.
I've watched this stuff.
Yeah, and he said that actually he went to Croatia from England, and the language barrier made him realize that the Jehovah's Witnesses in Croatia aren't privy to the same kind of information of English speakers. Because there's that lost in translation, and there's no exact words to describe these things. And that's where he began to realize the discrepancies in the biblical text.
And the Jehovah's Witnesses have a reputation for that they send people to ministries around the world, but they actually discourage people from learning the native language to the places they'll be sent to.
Yes.
And it's like, where is the logic in this?
Yeah. If you want to convince the native people, the best thing to do would be to learn their language.
Yeah, you're sending me to a country where I can't go in a grocery store and ask for a loaf of bread.
And they don't pay for you. You got to go there and make your own life.
Yeah. Yeah, you've even got to pay for your own transportation costs to get there. And
you are encouraged to sell your home and downgrade, downsize your home, so you can give more time to the kingdom. Sorry. No, it's very bad. I don't think I'll ever go back to religion, guys.
Yeah.
Unless God does something.
I need to wind down here because it's almost 3 a.m. my local time, so I should try to get horizontal for a few hours.
Da Prajnie. Did not realize it was that late.
Yeah, for Diana, it's even an hour later than it is for me.
Yeah, it's almost 4 a.m. here.
Guys, you are so wonderful.
Anything, you have anything that you want to shill out or plug before you go?
Me?
Yep. Why don't you start, Sal?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Purple. I really enjoy my time here. Thank you for allowing me in.
Oh, great to have you here.
Thank you. I am working on a few videos. I'll be doing my moon observations for September, from new moon to full moon and beyond. And I am working on another video where I'll be putting out a challenge to flat earthers.
Where's your
Otherwise,
channel, hon?
my channel is Southern Hemisphere Globehead. It's terrible.
Southern Hemisphere Globehead. I am going to look for that.
Yes, so I make my own observations. And yeah, just look out for my videos, watch my videos, look out for me on other people's channels, and find me on Discord if you want to discuss my observations.
You say it's terrible, but actually it's very good because being a sentence rather than a single word, it's something you can actually find on YouTube without a lot of ambiguity. There aren't like
Found
15
you.
channels with the same name.
There you are.
I mean, a lot of these people I try to search for, and it's like there will be a couple dozen channels that have basically the same name with just a letter or two difference, and I don't know which one I'm trying to find.
And it's funny you say that because a flat earther wanted me to go and find him on Facebook. And he told me his name. And when I typed out the name, there were 400 people, and I only stopped counting at 50.
Okay, Jinzu, as always, reliable. Jinzu moderates the side chat for the Shills and is there with the links for you too. So it's in the YouTube chat now.
Hi, Jin.
Okay.
And Robert X is trying to shill out from me, but I think everybody here has already subscribed to my channel. So I appreciate the effort, but I don't think it's reaching anyone who hasn't seen it already.
I can put your link in my description also. I will do that.
Okay, Diana, I know that, you're going to be back online here in about 8 hours, huh?
8 hours from now, there will be Kate and I and hopefully Tina and hopefully Amanda. And we will be having coffee with Lavender.
Tina?
Say again?
Who is Tina?
Oh, Tina is Mom NATO.
Oh, okay. I don't think I knew what her first name was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's mentioned it only a couple of times on air.
Okay. I get easily confused because there are so many people who go by 3 different names and I don't connect them very well.
Okay.
I've downloaded StreamYard because I see that when you invited me the first time, Purple, I didn't even need to have the app to join you on StreamYards. Yes, so it looks like I'm going to be able to live streams also. And to your friend, Diana, you also have a channel.
Diana is the Lavender Lady.
Yeah, let me put my, okay, over in the side chat, I just put a link to my channel.
Okay, I will go there after I'm done here and go see what you up to.
I have not put up the thumbnail for our next show yet. I will have to do that before I will find a picture of something, some bird.
I will find a picture of something. I love it. What is the topic going to be?
We usually don't have a topic. We usually talk about whatever comes to mind.
Oh, all right. I'll come and have a listen.
Robert X says he's putting the links out there because somebody might watch this later, and apparently people do. I have no idea who or why. But yeah, while I generally only have about a dozen people watching the live streams, if I go back and look at it about 2 weeks later, there will be 50 views.
Yes, that's nice. I'm also watching it in retrospect. Sorry about that. Time difference clashes.
It's no problem. I mean, I hardly ever get to see yours when they first come out just because of the time difference. You're usually streaming while I'm still working because it's the middle of the day for me.
Yes. I need to find a nice prime time to release my videos where people on all hemispheres can, get to check it out. The numbers are climbing.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Unfortunately, there isn't any one time that works everywhere, and I hate to sound that I'm American centrist, but the U.S. is the biggest audience, so if you try to aim it for evening in the U.S., that's probably where you'll get the most views. Although then that winds up usually being so late that Europe and the UK have already gone to bed.
Yeah, I don't mind because most of my subscribers, most of the people who follow me or watch my videos are American. There are a few
Yeah.
from Europe, and I've got one or two from Australia, but I would like to target the American audience because actually you guys are the most prolific.
Yeah,
When I go to
it
you
is
guys
just
are
that the biggest share of YouTube's audience is the US.
absolutely, and I don't mind mining it if you don't mind.
Yeah, I've had that problem for years because it's like, I actually, part of the reason I wound up doing the streams at midnight on Thursday was originally because I was working with the Australians.
Oh,
So,
and did they rock up?
me starting at midnight was starting in the late afternoon for Australia.
Yeah. And if I want to be on the Shills, I got to be up at about midnight, 12:30 in the morning to be on the Shills. In my time, 1 a.m. So look, I don't mind doing that, even like for a debate and things like that. I don't mind doing that because between my time and the Australian time is very inconvenient to get the American viewers. Oh, all right, guys, this was so wonderful. I'm going to slip away
Yay.
now.
Okay, yep. Well, good night, all.
Thank
Night,
you.
everybody. Come
I
on
will be
over to
back
my
here
place tomorrow.
Wednesday at noon and Thursday at 10 p.m. Central.
I'll get the notifications, so I'll catch you then. In the meantime, I'll send you my Discord link.
Okay, bye-bye, all.
Bye.